is coming up in half an hour. You caught me off guard. It's 1:30. It's not 2 o'clock. The Fed is coming at 2 o'clock, I should say. We'll take you right through till 4 o'clock this afternoon, and we'll get you set for what is to come. I wanted to show you right off the bat here that we're still in this same range as we were this morning. So 76, it actually ticked up 1% there versus 23.7. So 76.3 versus 23.7 on the 75 basis point increase to come in under 30 minutes from Mr. Jerome Powell and the rest of the Federal Reserve. Very, as you can see, positive day for the rest of the market there. 1.3% for the S&P. Currently 2.6 for the NASDAQ. The Dow 0.2 to the upside, just holding on to positive territory. Also, as we were expecting, a pretty quiet afternoon ahead of what is to come in 28 minutes from now. Here's crude oil just hanging out, 2% to the upside. Here's Bitcoin, 3.2 to the upside, 8% for Ethereum. Have a look at this because it could all change dramatically here in the next 30 minutes or so. That's the way the board looks right now. Typically on an earnings day, you're going to get wild swings either direction. Big moves downside, big moves upside, depending on the report. Obviously, Google pretty positive, 6.7% for Google, G-O-O-G, same exact percentage to the upside. There were a few that were to the downside. HUM, one of those, CME, IVZ, TDY, 7.5%. Garmin over here, you heard the guys debating on the I guess quality of Garmin products. I don't know. Garmin 9% to the downside, so obviously they have some work to do in that category. Tech stocks lead right now. Consumer discretionary names also in positive territory, led by the consumer staples group. Hope your afternoon is going well. Also hope you're pretty flat, if not getting flat at the moment, because we have a big announcement coming up here in a few minutes. Fahad and Neil are talking bowling right now and still talking about bowling. Anyways, we're going to get into a few trades that we were discussing in the pre-market this morning. There were some great opportunities off the open still, even with the Fed coming up here in less than a half an hour. As we said, we'll talk about how to trade the Fed, what to expect, things of that nature. Let's kick it off, though, with Neil, and I'll look at one of his trades.
Welcome. We're going to talk trade of the day here. And we always get the question, why don't you guys show a losing trade every now and then? So why not? Lots of great long opportunities today. But let's talk about Coinbase. Yesterday, Coinbase was an easy short. They had that investigation, SEC investigation, insider trading issues from before. Lots of pressure in the overall market yesterday. Easy short idea. I came in today looking for the same thing off some key levels. And we're just going to show you how to end up breaking down. Obviously, on a higher time frame here, we're going to have a look at this. It's a 15-minute chart, I just really wanted to highlight yesterday's trade. We just died off of the open. Like, this is the kind of thing you're sitting in that short or getting that breakdown. It's just a matter about where you want to get out. I actually had the 60 level sort of pinned just because it was psychological. But once I came in the morning, there's a couple of things. You have the 55. That's the obvious sort of like line in the sand, 55 even dollar range. The pre-market high, if I'm playing off of 55. And then this is the other band I was looking at with a 58 top. And then you had like this little channel here at about 57.25. So if this is a wide band, I was willing to be patient for it, but I also just wanted to be short the same way we were sitting in the short and looking for that trade in yesterday's action. So we come in, and here's the thing about executing this trade. Look at what happens right at the open. Now, you're going to get a little bit of a test of the pre-market high and then a flush into $53. That's more or less exactly the setup we're looking for like yesterday. Maybe it doesn't follow through like yesterday, but that's the trade that you want. Now, I was in maybe I want to say 3 or 4 positions that were not Coinbase. I should have just been sitting in this one, locked and loaded and ready to go. And we always have an adage here, like sometimes when you get it the second time, you can't anticipate it's going to be as good. And I did mention that for another trade, but here I did not heed my words. And this is why it turns into a losing trade instead of being able to salvage what wasn't a bad move. It's going to come back in, and this is a 3-minute chart here, so you're only about like 8 to 10 minutes in. When it makes a test, lower high, fantastic. I'm short in front of 55 here. I take some out when it's about 1-to-1 to that high of the day, and now I'm thinking let it ride. But in the back of my mind, I'm remembering that I got out of 63 at 60 and what happened yesterday, right? So you can't try to recreate that trade. It's just not going to come back for you. When we stall out here, this is exactly where I should have been looking to take some more shares out. It gives me 2 opportunities to take more out and bank profit. It has made the wipeout bottom, and I've missed that move. I'm getting the secondary push. And rather than get more shares out, I end up just doubling back in on the 3rd test of the same pre-market high. Now, but the only thing that goes well is I adhere to my stop. I simply get out and then show patience. But there's no need to be adding to this aggressively when this is the 3rd test. And I don't usually like to have more shares on the 3rd test. So that's the mistake. It's also not getting enough shares out. I mean, you can talk about how this turns into like a breakout style trade. We had some longs that maybe should have included Coinbase, and you're gonna see it actually end up holding support at that 55. The other thing we show patience with, which clearly would have worked if we had just gotten in early, is that top channel. We got to the bottom of the channel that we're looking at for that short, that 57.25, the bottom of the channel without entering it, and then just showed resistance. So if I saved a little of that aggression for the top, I might have been able to work back into a short trade. Truth of the matter is, if you were short this morning, you were struggling to try to find a way not to lose. The longs were all fantastic, but there is a way, if you adhere to your basic principles, pay yourself when it goes down. The more it tests that level in a strong market, understand it's more likely to break and join everything else. So lots of ways that I could have actually ended up green on that call, but I didn't, and we're showing you why. That's why it's the trade of the day here. And as always, brought to you by Day Trade the World. If you want to be a day trader, many executions, trade the capital you need, then check out Day Trade the World.
Pretty good bounce for Coinbase after a few to the downside on that SEC note earlier in the week. We'll have a look at crypto coming up here as well, because worth a note, I mean, going into the Fed decision, the currencies overall, the dollar, I mean, will be affected, will be moving off of what the Fed does, what Jerome Powell says. Bitcoin typically moves with that. But that's the link to the watch list, guys. Make sure you grab that every single day before you come join us at 8:30. This was, what was it, 1:10 p.m. We got this note, the U.S. Senate proposing a bill that would take aim at Visa, MasterCard, and credit card fees specifically, and opening up the playing field a little bit for other merchants to maybe jump into the arena. So typically when you go into any kind of vendor or brick and mortar store, you want to pay with a credit card. They're either a Visa type of store or they're a MasterCard type of store, not typically both or multiple anyway. So we had a big move down in Visa. At the same time, PayPal popped up on that, moving to the upside a little bit. Affirm also popped up, moving to the upside, but just saw some more volume there coming back in on the buy side this time. Still 3% for Visa. Remember, they reported as well. So earnings for Visa also. But let's jump into the big ones we were dealing with this morning to kick things off here. Google, obviously top of the list. Microsoft, both top of the list. Coming off kind of so-so earnings here. We'll get through a couple of these real quick, guys, and then we'll talk all things Fed, as I put at the bottom there.
Is today Fed Day?
No, it's not.
Okay.
What?
All right. Well,
What's
I
happening?
thought we were just back on early for no strange reason here today. But yeah, welcome back. The party's about to get started in about 20 minutes. And then I really am excited to hear Powell speak at 2:30. That's generally when the big plays are on board. But yeah, let's quickly go over a couple of these names here as we promised. So, you know, I wrote down on this. I mean, this is the thing again, and Bears and Bulls is probably going to message me, by the way. There's our food from today, like tandoori chicken, couscous, almond. It was good. Chickpeas in there. Like, I don't know what Prad's talking about on the midday show there. I didn't have any of it, but oh, wait a minute. I tweeted that twice? Wait a second. I better got to get rid of that. I didn't realize I tweeted that twice. We'll just keep it on. Anyways, but here's what I want to talk about quickly, though. Google, right? 108. We really like that 108 or short through 107. So this is where it gets to be a little spicy because here's my Google trading today. Here's the long at 108. Should still be in this stupid thing. But instead, it kept going up and away, and then the last trade I made here was a short at 112.50, out at 112.75. So, you know, we wind up losing a quarter there. We hit some shorts in here, which was fine. We are going to be negative on Google today. It's really disappointing for me because we did peg that as obviously a long down there. But wow, what 7% today? Did not think this would happen for Google on obviously some slowing YouTube revenues. But they said search and ad, they could still see some bright lights there. So it does to make a little bit of sense that Google does come right back to the upside again. This is the 20-minute chart on Google. You could see we're still ways away from where we just were last week, 115, 116 as those highs. So I still feel like it's a great day, but Google had been so beat down. We talked about that on the daily chart for Google. It's not going to look great on here because we don't have anything to show you because of the split. So let me just show you this right here. This is where Google was, and we talked about Google and Microsoft both yesterday as we went off the air, and it was like, they're both near the bottom. I mean, 104, 105. I mean, these are bottom levels for Google down here. You get a nice rally off the bottom, but still just back to where we were. We're not above the 50 period. It's a great 7% move, great for everybody. But you know, it still doesn't really solve any problems. I think you got to get above 120. Obviously, we have Meta, we have Apple, we have Fed coming. So, hey, the move's not over today, but you have to be celebrating this Google. It's nice play. We didn't really think, I didn't think anyways it had this kind of a move into it, which is why I flipped over, which is so silly. Like, we had that one. First of all, that was there. We had to average. We got in and out there. We lost 30 cents early on it, and then we just killed it to the upside. We actually held some to take some out up here for that $2-3 winner. But wow, we hit that 108, and hopefully tomorrow, if we do have a similar opinion on a Meta or even on a Google again, that we stay true, because some of these moves can definitely blow this account to the upside. Came back and tested view up there at 110. That was another long opportunity miss. So yeah, look, I'm not happy about Google today. I'm happy for my long term, but I really feel like anybody that held that from the open has a great trade on. That was a great reload. I know Spencer had it in the back as well. So good on everybody. But look what it's doing right now. Everybody is waiting for the Fed.
Yeah, to say it's going sideways right now is crazy. Like, this is almost the same thing as the chart on Coinbase, where I wanted to play that 9:30 opening, just try to take out the high, fail it, and get that quick move. It goes right through 110, fails at 50, almost perfect, and drops to 108. Like, and then when it comes back up, I take the trade, and it just sort of stops out. So it's fine. Like, you lose the 50 cents on the trade, when if I just taken it the first time, it's good. It gives you the 3-1. But once it makes that move, it then turns into a long. And this was a different story. Like, this is one that reasonably, even if you didn't reverse it, the 110 down here for the consolidation. I mean, yeah, I was looking at PayPal and Tesla at that moment, but that's not an excuse. We should have been in some Google. We're going to go sideways from here until the next 15 minutes or so. And you know, when I'm looking at things to trade on the Fed, you better believe that 110 is going to be in play. Like, if we get what we usually expect, we get that whipsaw action. 110 comes into play, low of the day comes into play there. I'll also be looking at the Qs at that time, but you anticipate that even if it does a first move up, a lot of times we'll reject that first candle, and if there's a down candle, a lot of times I'm just waiting for a really key area to get held. So 110 makes sense to me, 108 makes sense as well.
For the past few months has been specifically on what is to come, obviously, and will companies start guiding to the downside or cutting current guidance. Microsoft, on the other hand, bucks that trend, soothing, as they say here, market fears by guiding higher, guys. So not only the remainder of this year, but into 23 on the positive side.
If I could sing like D'Angelo, I would do like,
You can't?
no, he has a song called Higher. And it's like, I'd be dropping that with guiding higher. In a market where, I mean, like, who can even predict the future in the times that we're in? But Microsoft gave you a couple, the Magic 8 Ball can.
What do you want me to add?
Well, we should be asking, do we get the full point? That's what we need to ask.
But that's it. You know, it knows it's 75 the other way. So let me see.
Fair enough. Let's see what happens.
All right. So I'm going to ask Magic 8 Ball. Will we get 75 points?
Okay.
Right.
Let's see.
Oh, damn it. I should get too much there.
Very doubtful. So it's looking at the one. It likes the one right now.
Boy.
It likes the 1 point.
That's spicy. But I'll tell you this. Like, the thing about trading is what we love about the market so much is there's so many different types of opportunities. I came in today and I pulled up my 15-minute and I was just like, I mean, I really like 57, 58 on Microsoft, but that's where I like to dip by because everything about it was mixed or bad with the exception of the guidance, and then just give me 65 resistance. I never quite got the long. It got close, man. I know Sean had a great long on it, but I at least was disciplined enough to wait until it got up to the top because it gave you 265 to 263 twice. Actually, technically, it gave it to you 3 times. I bungled along where I had a 65 break, could have had 50 cents, didn't take it, and then gave some back as it pulled back in there. And I'll just be, sort of sitting around waiting patiently. But the same key levels, the high of the day will be in play. I think and throw out that 57, 58, you're now talking about like the 60s are a little bit more significant down there on Microsoft. But hey, it's all about that guidance, man. Because there was nothing. You go line by line. It was like Boeing's report, Microsoft's report, Alphabet's report, line by line. It's not like you were getting anything that was very positive. Each of them just had one little kernel, although Boeing didn't close or end up higher. The tech names did. Boeing got shellacked on their earnings call, and this guy still had a bid out during the earnings call. So anyways, I had to stop as well, so it ended up taking like, it just hit me at the low of the day, but I should have canceled that one. I thought the call was over, I'm not gonna lie.
Look, so and that's the problem with earnings calls. It's like, you know, we don't have our ear to the call, so it's very hard to trade it. But okay, since we're on Microsoft again, another one, let's just spin it. My number one stock today is going to be Microsoft, despite the Amazon banger that we had as well. But there's 259 long, just hit this all the way up. 262, like that's $3. More money there at 263.50. So this is 259, that's 450. So $4.50 on that. Then we look at this reload right there. That's about as clean as you can get for a reload back down to VWAP. Reloaded that at 263. Piece out at 263.50, the rest out at 264. At that time was the high of 265, so we do pretty good getting some out at 264.40. So don't sleep on these trades, man. This is $4.50. This is $1.50. That's a mistake because we had our out there and then we covered it. And then we tried to go short in here, which worked until it didn't. And yeah, that's the Fed trade for you right here. Just kind of relaxing and just realizing that, hey, when we started the show, no, it was almost, I just got out of it. So we were short Microsoft right around here, 264. Once it took that out, 264.20, we wound up getting out. So again, that's about a 25 cent hit there. Some of these takes are only about a dime, 15 cents. So we do lose on the last piece of Mr. Softy there. But just quickly, because we're going to talk next about PayPal, I just want to go, I am on AMD short side right now as well. So I just thought, again, today, short wrong was wrong earlier. Remember that? But just looking at this name, up 0.21, market up 2.68. So obviously I don't need to talk about relative weakness. That should be pretty clean here for AMD. So as you can see today, I stick true to what I do, and that is to trade the relatively weak and or strong names. So today, and on that side, so today you're only going to see AMD shorts, and obviously it's been paying off. Look, short, 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 short. We just got taken out, but got right back in because we should have been out at VWAP, not out at that high of the day. So we got right back in, or the high of the move. Right back there in, now short again. And we just covered a little bit there. So cover, cover, cover. So this is the short. See, blown out there. We should have been out here, not there. But anyways, back in at 88, and then some covers down here. Our best one is 60, so nice little 40 cents there to go. But I don't know, man. I don't want to be in this for very long. We have only 40% of this position left. So yeah, tricky, tricky, tricky. But not PayPal and not Elliott today, Brendan.
Yeah, no, PayPal definitely a pretty good opportunity if you miss it this morning. Bloomberg with a report suggesting that what we learned last week, that was apparently a rumor, is actually true. Elliott Management is, in fact, building a stake in PayPal, the size of which we are not aware at this point, but they did suggest that it could be large enough that they will build it to a point where they are the largest shareholder, similar to what Warren Buffett is doing in Oxy right now. So yeah, PayPal, pretty good opportunity long side this morning.
Yeah, and apparently they're talking truce with PayPal, whatever that means. But look, PayPal, I liked multiple longs. At least I was trying to get multiple longs here. It was a wide channel. If you look at it from yesterday's high down into $80. And when it started tanking in the morning, I really only got the first fill at 81.50. I was sitting at 80.50 as well, just looking to play into this deeper. And part of the reason I wanted it deeper is I thought that we'd have resistance off of not yesterday's high, but Monday's high at 82. That's why I took some out in front of it, thinking you're getting a stair step down situation. And it just never did. It ends up curling up. I trail out at 83, thinking, okay, well, we failed this high at 84. Let's just play off of that. I'll move to the 3 minutes so it makes a little more sense here. And then when we failed that high at 84, I then shorted the 84 down into 83.50. And then once we broke out from 84, it's back into the longs. So the 84 long into 85. And then we took the 85 breakout long, the 85 breakout long, ended up getting trailed out. Put it this wick off top at 86. If I had been flat, that would have been a short. The market was at the high of the day. Certainly would have made a lot of sense to do it. It was when you saw this, I was watching level 2. Like when you saw this one break 86, like it wasn't as if there was any doubt about it snapping back. I mean, it was at 75 in a hurry, and that's why like the next candle that takes you all the way down into the 35s on my 3-minute here. So it reversed pretty quickly, ends up retaking the high here at 86. I'll be looking at a couple of things on Fed day for this stock. I mean, I don't really see any reasonable possibility that the prices from the morning can come in, but I do think it's pretty reasonable to expect one of somewhere in this channel, the 83.50 into that 84. If we do get a dump down, that's the price range I'll be looking at for PayPal, like where it hung out before the breakout at just before 11 o'clock. If we get a dump, that's the first level I'll be looking for. And then from there, it's got to be all the way down to that 81.5 to 82. As far as the top side goes, like for longs, I really, for the Fed, want to be getting longs on dips as opposed to trying breakouts. Like after things settle down and it's 230, then I can start thinking about breakout trades.
Yeah.
That's the time to do it. Like on the actual release, if you're looking for longs, it's just usually been better off to try to catch dips on key levels as opposed to taking the breakout long. Sometimes, one of these days it's going to work, but if you did that last time, you had to be really quick getting out of it. Otherwise, you were staring at a loser pretty quick.
Look, I'll just be super quick on this one. We're already $2 in the money. It's the trade that we had. It can't get any easier than this. Right here on the sticky note, we have 83.50 with an up arrow, 83.50 with an up arrow. So if you want to make your day, it's one trade and it's in the money, $2. There it goes. We didn't trust it as much as we definitely should have there because it already traveled all the way down here. So it made my 83.50 a little shady because it didn't really start to get going until about 11 o'clock, in which point Neil just talked about it, hit that 86 to the upside. I still think we get there, so let's hold it out. If we take down 85, we're out of it. But I see the next note there, Brendan, so let's just go with Fed. And I just want to do a quick check-in. I know, and sorry if you're about to do this, but let me just refresh quickly because people are asking there on the chat. 76.3. Now 78.7. Might be hard to see if, Brendan, if you have that a little bit better. But here on the CME Group Fed Rate Tracker, 79% chance that we're going to get 75 points, with the rest being at 21. A 100% chance of a rate hike. So they ain't cutting today, and they ain't standing still. We know that one, but should be a fun one with only a few minutes left, and then it's go time, Brendo.
Yeah, it's coming up very quickly here. I'll give you a quick overview of what I will be looking at, and then maybe, guys, we can talk a little bit about how we can trade this. So this is my screen right now that is prepared for the rate hike. You can see this line down here. This is the projected number. So 2.25 to 2.5 is where everyone is expecting this box to populate at. You can see right now we are 1.5 to 1.75. That was from the prior announcement. The actual Fed funds rate today is 1.58%. So 75 basis point, would put us in or about 2.25 to 2.5. So anything higher than 2.25 to 2.5 is going to be a surprise. Anything lower than 2.25 to 2.5 is going to be a surprise. Then over here in the background, this will then flood with the actual statement and accompanying points from the statement that comes out at the exact same time the rate hike comes across the wires. So we'll get the number here, and then we'll get all of the headlines coming in back here that I'll sift through as quickly as I can. But guys, 5 minutes to go here. What are we trading when this happens?
What's on my radar is, so look, the stocks that are going to follow the market that you have good levels on, that you had some success on, that's where I want to kind of go back to, or you have good levels. So I like Google, and we talked about that one playing back. I like PayPal because that's had a pretty solid read there. And the other one I'm going to be watching is going to be Microsoft. And Microsoft has made some sense off of those key levels as well. But the Qs, I mean, let's not ignore the overall market.
Yeah, the market.
Yeah, maybe you like the SPY. I'm going to favor the Qs here because I think this is going to be a bigger deal for the NASDAQ. I could be wrong about that, but certainly when you look at the significant levels, if we were to kind of repeat what we did last time, our breakout on the Qs this morning, I have my 15-minute chart up, which I might favor a few times in the afternoon today. You've got this 299 here where you had a consolidation break, and then the support down there was 98. So you got a pretty big channel in at the bottom if you have an absolute capitulation. And what we've seen the last few times is you've tried to break out the high, and then you've had a big time reversal. I am not looking for a bounce off of 301 in the Qs. What I would do is I'll look for a higher low bounce on something like a PayPal, but maybe not on the Qs. I'm looking for the actual low there. And I'm not trying to, even if I anticipate you could have a fail break and come short, I'm not really looking for the short side of the trade. And this is, by the way, this is all assuming a 75-point basis hike. If we do get the full point, I wouldn't be trying to catch that dip necessarily in front of that 98, 99 level. But that's what I'll look for on the Qs. Qs, Google. I also, of course, like I said, PayPal, Microsoft. All those are going to be the ones in play for me. And I've seen it said a couple of times here on the chat, and we can't reiterate it enough. I would not play the first candle. Especially for a breakout, that first candle breaks out on the high of the day of a stock or a breakdown low. I just find that is too risky of a trade. Like, you'd rather be able to express the move and then try and catch a scalp trade and then look to get a little bit patient for that 230 when Powell comes on. And a lot of times that's when you get the actual trending going for the rest of the afternoon.
Look, I know I said we wouldn't be in anything. We'll take a small little AMD into the print, so no problem there. We have our outs. Hopefully they trigger and we get out or it comes down. I'm going to look at the TQQ. We talked about this a couple times last time. I had it on the last report, so we'll see if it does flush back into sort of where we started the day. It's up 8%. This is a triple. We can go short, so you can also trade the SQQ. Remember, we don't pay for shorts on this name, so it's not a problem for me to go short here on TQQ if we need to. So triple the NASDAQ right now, so we'll see if that's going. But the problem is, Brendan, I mean, I could look at Apple and Neil and everybody out there. It's like, I mean, do we actually... Yo, Pratt, slow down, bro. Too much tandoori chicken there. But, you know, the thing is like, I don't know. Let's just say it comes out 75 points. Okay, so what? It's already baked in. Like, you know, we already know that it's going to be 75 points. It's about an 80% expected. We already showed you that. So if it comes 75, I mean, I feel like the other risk is the 1. So I think if you get 1, then, you know, I feel like there's going to be a flush down because it's like, oh my God, it's 1. And then it's like, yes, they ripped the Band-Aid off and then the market rips to the upside. So I feel either way right now, you just kind of got to be prepared for anything. You know, that's why I'm not going to be putting on any real risk. I do have some bids down here on the TQQ in case we flush down here because I just... You know, it's baked in. We had the earnings today. We wait for more earnings coming out soon. I mean, unless you're going to look at gold or Bitcoin or something like that, those could really move, and we'll get some updates on that. So maybe a Coinbase, a Mara, Riot blockchain, something like that. Yeah, so we will wait to see, man. If the TQQ, yeah, there it is right there. People talking about it right now. TQQ and SQQ should be the same, right? I mean, SQQ right now should be down 7... Let's see, down 799, right? The TQQ up the same percentage, right? A little bit off there. So, you know, it's played with options and things like that, so it's not going to be exact, but that's what I'm going to be looking at, and we'll just wait to see what happens, baby. I mean, there's not really an identifiable name unless you want to look at the banks, but again, like all of this is baked in, man. So we'll hold our PayPal. If it takes down that 85, we'll get out of that, or 84, whatever my price was. We talked about that again. And then AMD on the high side as an out if that does come in. I mean, I could take 20 cents right now on AMD. You know what? I think we should just do that. Let's just stick with our plan, man. Be flat. I mean, I said it earlier that you got to be flat into this print. We'll wait a little bit lower than on the 80s here. Get out if we can get that, and then we'll be gone on AMD. But hey, man, it's a minute and change left.
That's right, a minute and change. I am in this BWV, but remember that's a small cap from this morning. So I'm watching the Qs, like I said, Qs, Microsoft, Google, PayPal are the ones. I don't expect that's going to move too much, but I do have a stop. Like if for whatever reason, like my stop gets run in a small cap name at 2 o'clock, I do have a stop sitting at like just above 320 or something like that. Actually, sorry, just above 330. So I'm making sure that I do get out of that. But this is what it's all about here. This is the other thing we always tell traders is even whether you plan to trade or not, this is something you always want to pay attention. Have something up that you want to track, that you might want to express a trade on. Paper trade it. Try to learn from the experiments. It's whipsaw action. And a lot of times, most people, the first time they see it, you want to sit it out, just so you have a grasp of how things move. Like, watch a level 2 of the Qs. Get an idea of how liquid it's going to get. And then watch the gaps and watch the tape and get a feel for what these moves are going to look like in about 15 seconds or so, Brendan.
Yeah, 15 seconds to go again. You don't have to trade immediately, guys. Let it work itself out, and then we'll see where the trades are. Again, let's go to my screen. This is what we're looking at right here. So 2.25 to 2.5 expected. Should be coming right about now. There it is, in line, guys, in line with expectations. So 2.25 to 2.5. I'll sift through this and see what they are saying. Let's get to the market.
There we go. Pop lock. And
That's
drop
a
it.
small pop.
Nice little move to the upside right here as the NASDAQ starting to go. And again, you know, it's just back. Let's just talk about where it's at here. We just bumped up to where we were at 130. So, I mean, it's not really a pop-up for any stretch of the imagination here, but it is a nice move, and we get what we want on this. So you can go over. I was thinking about Google long if we got what we wanted, but again, that's not really moving. So there it is. Look what just happening to the futures here, right? Up, down, and right where we started. So, yeah, really glad we came on early for this, but still, the action is here. Here we go. Maybe to the upside now for the Fed. We'll just wait to see. I like Google breaking through 112. If this market can go, let's play a stock that we know is strong. But it's not moving crazy yet. I want Google long if we take that 112. Take the best of the bunch today and just hope that the momentum can carry this thing forward. But right now, not much moving, man. And there goes the NASDAQ. Neil, back down to the downside. I mean,
it's crazy. Like, actually, it hasn't broken major, like, if you look at where we were sitting at 145, the bottom at 145, that hasn't been taken out. You've barely broken the lower high here on the Q. So you really haven't picked a direction. I'm not sure you've even run a lot of stops in this situation, which could make it either really sexy at 230 or maybe just really obvious, because if the market doesn't want to come down, the last couple of times we've had a severe move down after failing the high of the day. And if we don't see that, I mean, like, if it doesn't break the low, there's only one place for it to go. That's what we always say. And I'm being patient. I'm kind of wanting it to break that first level before I make a move here. I watch Google. It's still in the pocket, 112s. Any individual name I'm looking at here, right there in the pocket. PayPal still just above 85. Microsoft, maybe a 50 to 60 cent range off of this open. You don't want to diddle in the middle here, Brendo.
Right, a couple things to note here, guys. The vote was unanimous, so 12-0 in favor of a 75 basis point increase. Everything else on here is not that surprising. There's nothing out of the ordinary, especially this. The balance sheet reduction will accelerate in September as planned. Remember, they said that last month with monthly caps and runoffs rising to $35 billion. So I'm not seeing anything that is a surprise at this point.
All right. I mean, we can hit a new position alert right now. We did get Google as it did break a little bit to the upside, so we'll hit our position alert. We're long at 01s here, but I mean, whatever, man. I mean, I don't want to get out of this right away, so we'll have to wait to see what happens right now. Again, kind of as expected there. Maybe there's something as they work through the report, but honestly, it's 3 minutes in right now. All the scrapers and everything like that for headlines with the algorithms, they've already got this all figured out, is what I would figure. And if there's nothing else to come from this, then yeah, it looks like it is going to be a nothing burger, but nothing burger be damned right now. He shoots, he scores on that little part there for Google as we get out of 10% for 20 cents or so up there at 112.20. Let's let this thing fly. I still think you see a 113 coming right now. There it is. It's the secondary push now happening. So I want to hold
Big
this.
Spike in crypto.
Yeah, 112. Yeah. Crypto going nuts as well right now. Do you have the chart up? That is going crazy.
Yeah, I got to slide it over. I'm looking over on the side. Coin moves to the upside, Mara as well, but there's a breakout on many technical levels here on Bitcoin. So you're getting a nice little move. I checked Ether, basically the same thing. No high of the day breaks, man. Nothing just yet at these tops, but Coin showing some strength. Apologies, the percentage is wrong. Coinbase is actually up on the day today, and it is making a run. It levitated through 56 just now, but it has not gotten through that 57. I still think that's going to be a little bit of resistance. Market is about to scream toward the top side here. Here's Microsoft at 265. About to come challenge here. It got to 265.50. That's a huge level on the higher time frame. We were shorting it earlier today, but this is a totally different story now, now that you've gotten to this high.
I mean, I don't know. I guess it is part of the contract, so we'll go diamond hands. I don't know. We're hoping to have some diamond hands right now. As there goes Google. I said it. Bang right there. That's the contractual right there. Up to 112.50, so we take 50 cents. I mean, I'm still holding 2/3 of this trade. Now we just hold on, see if Powell can come and say something nicer about this market. But look, there it is, fading right out. So it's a good thing we got a little bit out there as we take the strongest name from what I thought long. So definitely working out to that long side. It was a great idea getting out of that AMD, obviously. But look where that went to, we might not even be out of this. Oh no, it went to 50s, yeah. So AMD goes right right back to those levels. So there are some trades to be had here. Let's just check a big money center bank. Let's just check out JP Morgan quickly here. I mean, they have everything. We can check out BAC, I guess. But there's JP Morgan. Again, like I wish there was more to come to you here with, but back up and down and right, JP Morgan literally where it was at 2 o'clock. So they're up about 30 cents, down about 10 cents, and we land somewhere in the middle. So yeah, for right now, it's sit back, relax, say some cognac, and then let's watch this money through the laundromat, because like right now we have to sit down and wait for this move. I think like you got to wait 25 minutes, unfortunately, now until Powell comes. But let's see, man. We got excited to the upside. Brady, you got something else?
One thing of note, which is kind of interesting here, guys. They're still saying they see 107 basis points of tightening for the rest of 2022, which puts us still in that kind of 3.25 to 3.5 range, which is, again, similar to what was said in the past. But they did have to tag that in at the end there.
So we just had a wick top on the futures there, NASDAQ futures. You're going to see we tried to get to the high. We broke the high, failed at yesterday's top, 12.5, and then sort of pulled back in. But I'm going to go to Visa for a quick second. Brendan brought you guys the bad news that Visa had. So obviously you're going to have them get crushed down like $15 or whatever it was. But the reverse that just came in here was off of this 208 top. So 208 was the high. I shorted a lower high. It just put a wick off top in front of 208. Below that price, we fail and pull back. I'm looking for a short on Visa as long as we can get back below it. And if we hold above, you've got a monstrous gap to be filled. Now you're starting to see the other end of it. Now that you get the wick off top, this took a little bit longer than normal. There's a wick top break on Microsoft, and now you can start thinking about those support levels starting to come back in here. So as we get that reversal, this is where we start thinking about those supports coming back in. Softy has that 262.5 level that we had before. So this is the patience game I'm looking for. But Visa is a short, not just because the market might pull back in, but remember, Visa had the bad news. MasterCard under pressure as well. I think Affirm went upside. PayPal got a bit of a bump on that, but Visa's my focus.
I like it. I mean, my focus is going to be on the one name that I'm in right now is Google. So it does take down that 112 back in. We just got longer in the 60s. Let's see if it can go back up to the upside with an average price now of 111.88. So we're out an amazing 8 cents right now on Google. Hopefully it can get back up to the upside, and we'll start to take a little bit out of this name because, yeah, the market did fall down there. And just, I mean, I'm really just tired of this because, like, it's not doing anything. So, you know, I feel like staying out of this market until we do see a directional move is probably going to be the winning trade idea now. So we'll take a little piece out again for flat. But I mean, I don't really have an out here for this Google trade. I mean, I'm hoping that I'd be able to hold this until Powell comes. So maybe just this 111. It's not a big, like, this is not a big position or anything for me. But still, you know, a loser is going to be a losing trade, and we don't want any of that. So maybe the market can bounce off here. Hopefully Brendan has something positive and or negative to say that will give us a direction. What's up, Brendan?
Just from a visual standpoint, so this is the actual Fed statement that comes out with the rate decision, obviously. So everything you see in red is either different or removed from the last time. So you can see like this line here has been crossed out, whereas this line is added. So I mean, there's not a lot that's different. The voting at the bottom is just the individuals who vote in favor or against. So they took out some words surrounding Russia and added in a few things regarding the job market, guys. Everything else exactly the same.
Yeah, like that's what we mean. Like you're like this. What this is telling us, as you can probably already tell, is that 2:30 when Powell comes on, that's our chance to actually get something, which gives us a pretty clean direction. Like so far, you've gotten it. It took a while for it. That wick top off the high. Last time we had that wick top off the high, we were already testing and breaking support to the downside. Now we're not even doing that. That's why I jumped to Visa, because Visa had an independent catalyst. And the way I see it, it's either it goes back to what it maybe was doing, which is selling off that 208 level. I did jump in. There's your wick top, shorted. Basically the same setup I would use anyways, where like it fails to break and then you're shorting the lower high. I'll get some out within the range, then look for that 205 area for the last. If it breaks the high, I mean, it's got room to run here. I'd love if we break to the top side, I would love for the market to participate as well. But whether it's Visa, whether it's MasterCard, I'm going to quickly show you guys Affirm here. If it wants to, come on, look. load up. Affirm got a spike to the upside on that news, so that's going to be a little bit bullish. If you want this 24, good support level for Affirm. If we do reverse to the upside here, that's a name that got a bump on the Visa news. On the, well, I guess the credit card news wasn't just Visa, but a strong one here. It is not down on the day. That's a bit of an error on our charts. It's actually up pretty significantly.
Yeah, Affirm. Was it 20? I think it was 23. I think
it closed at 23.
23. Yeah. So nice little move up there for Affirm. Oh, PayPal. Okay, so PayPal actually came out. There was that 85 break. Again, you know, up to the upside 86. We didn't have very many shares on this trade, so it's okay, but there's still a nice little win there for PayPal. Bless you. To finish off the trading there on PayPal, there's 83.50 out 85, so it's $1.50 there in the... Yeah, so there it is right there. So we'll spin that one more time for everybody. And then we'll just say to ourselves, too, that we are not making or losing any money with Google. But right now, it's actually coming back in. So it is temporarily losing for us. But we just took a profit on it when it went back up right into 112. So we actually just got a 111.92 fill right there as it approaches that 50 period. So this is, bless you. Sorry. This is just dancing around here, kind of as expected, man. I mean, look at the NASDAQ. I had the TQQ. I guess I can sort of cancel that order there. You know, not much happening. The NASDAQ just floats right back to this bottom of 10 o'clock. And remember, this is 11:30 actually because of Chicago time. So, you know, just bouncing around here. Hopefully the market can start to go back up a little bit to the upside. And if that is the case, then that is great. Neil, flossing it off, what you got?
No, we just got the first end of the range here on Visa. And again, like I just wanted to go to something where if it's the pullback, give me something that I feel like is going to have a little bit more follow through if it starts to sell off. I can play inside the range, but if we break down, I'm not really thinking about the long. I'm thinking about a capitulation. That's going to have to be Visa for now. Affirm if you're looking upside. PayPal is holding pretty strong above 85, man. If we go upside, that's a strong one, Brendo.
All right, so July in the books. Worth a look here at September now. We'll go out to the next meeting because this popped up on that announcement, guys, which is 50 basis points versus 75. So about split right now, 50-50 for September.
They're only going to do, it's a 50% chance they're going to do 50 only? Okay, all right, so now I'm happy with the long. So let's watch out for this Google long. We might push more long. Apple right now, and if they're gonna go back down to 50, man, I mean, there was already talk about mid to early even, 2023, possibly where they could stop doing that. But if you're gonna go from possibly $1, the whole point, and then only do 75 this time, which is fine, and then do 50 next time, what does that signal about possible recovery that the Fed is thinking in the economy? So for me, ding, I like that. I really like that a lot. That could trigger Apple. Apple bounces off 154. This is a name that I like if the market's going to go because the S&P, the NASDAQ, I mean, it's going to go with Apple, right? So not a bad little play there. Let's go long Apple off that 154. I could be completely wrong and it falls down. But I mean, I don't know, like I'm already in Google, and trust me when I tell you, like I have a position that's pretty large, you know, compared to what we normally trade. So I'm happy with Google right now, but I don't mind Apple off that 154. Let's put that in our pipe right now.
Yeah, I'm sort of like, I just said PayPal looks relatively strong because it's holding the top end, that 85, the last breakout. It just tried to break below. It got to like 91 cents. And then put a wick bottom in. Now the market is trying to put a bit of a wick bottom as well. And again, if I want to trade, I want to make sure I have an obvious out. And to me, it's like, okay, well, if it breaks this, I'm waiting back for that 84, 83 and a half area we were waiting for anyway. So let's see if we can't jump into PayPal. I just want to play in one of the names that we're comfortable with, trade in one of the names that we're comfortable with an obviously defined out. And if it has to be a tight stop, so be it. Like, I don't want to, this is not the moment before 2:30 to give away on a stock that you've made money on or to give away any portion of your day. Like what you want to do is find a good structured trade that makes sense to you where you have a defined level of risk so that you're not just sort of sitting onto it and holding onto it forever, holding onto it forever. So I'll jump into PayPal, give it to those 90s here. And if we do get that move back into the upside, and Brennan noting like those odds jumped by 5% from yesterday. I thought they was at 41%, now it's at 50. He said it was at 45. Either way, the odds are up.
Money. There it is, man. I love you guys in the crowd, man, in the chat. No risk it, no biscuit. There it is right there. We take that Apple long. It's 20 cents. Let's see if it can go even more than that. And then Google, of course, coming back alive a little bit here. So I still, that's still Apple. Let's go back. Oh, that's Apple. Hold on a second. We just took a piece out there as we break above. So we do take that 20 cents for 20% of the position. This is the Google. We did get a fill at 112 flat. It only went to 112.07. I'm just hitting the money for excitement. I mean, we get up 20 cents, there it goes. Google's now in the money 20 cents. And I'm just thinking that this could be the start of something. So let's wait to see. But again, look at the NASDAQ. Like, it goes and then says no thank you. So, I mean, for us to sit here and really call like this is going to be a dramatic move, this is actually much less of a move. Like, you can get bigger moves on like Apple hiring freezes or something like that than this, right? And again, when you're trading something that's baked in, it's just going to be one of those things where it's like, okay, it's baked in, like, now what, right? And so that's where I feel that we are, and that's why we have to wait for some new news, right? So we do get that bump up in the 50 points for next time, and that's where I'm sort of thinking like, okay, if we get that bump up, maybe that is the new piece of news there. Brendan said we had that strike through, add, this and that. It didn't look too great. I mean, I'm going to go with whatever Brendan says here because I don't see anything, but that's what I'm going to go with, and I'm going to rest my hat on that. And then now, here we go. Didn't mean for that to rhyme, but it did. That was pretty cool. We'll get out of 112.10 here if we can for another piece on Google. Let's just take advantage, man. Every time it spikes, let's see if we can get out. And that's that, right? So here it comes, breaking through 112.10, hopefully. And then we're in the 112 teens where we'll get out of another piece. And then we're just going to hold, try to hold as much as we can for an upside move. I'm actually at 13. There it is. So we'll take that 13 out for another one. So you roll the dice, no risk it, no biscuit. Hopefully we get back up to the upside. And there goes Apple again, right back up to 50. So same thing, guys. Let's put an offer here, get it out for another 30 cents, and then just like, you know, see what happens in the next 15 minutes before Jerome comes.
Yeah, and I like the notion of finding something weak and then being in it to the short side, let it follow through. I've already scalped some out. I'll do the same thing with PayPal where I will take some out. But if we break the top, I get out of Visa and I hold for some of the top on PayPal. If we break down, obviously I'm going to stop out of PayPal. I'm going to hold Visa toward those lows, just playing the relative weakness. The other one I like, man, Microsoft. I mean, it keeps on, ignore the wick, it keeps on trying to get up to this 265. Now, this is going to be one where the level is just too good to ignore. Like, 265 is big. It's gotten to the 50 mark. It's barely broken it a few times here. If we do extend through 12.5 on the NASDAQ, off of Powell coming at 230, like Microsoft is going to line up almost perfectly with this high on the Qs there. So whether you're looking at the Qs, if you're looking at individual stock, that softy 255 level, or 265 level has been great for a short. But if this is exactly the kind of level you want to break out from, it doesn't look like we're going to get dips down into 263. So I'm going to go with the schlong at this point. We call it the schlong. It's one long, one short, and I'll hold on to it. That's an old trading term that people used to joke around when someone accidentally said it. That person was probably me. But I want to make sure that I have exposure regardless of the direction that it goes. Pay yourself out a little bit, but if we tank here, and this is weird because PayPal's not going against me, but Visa's actually trying to extend to the downside. That's actually the benefit of being in something that had negative news, is it's entirely possible that without a flush, I could still get the win, the bigger win out here on Visa, as that's already sitting a buck in the money here. And the stock was at 201. I kind of wish I had held that short. Actually, I more wish that I was long at 201, to be honest. But Brendo?
I was going to mention, guys, there's a decent-sized move in treasuries here. I'll show you this first, actually. This is the actual yield curve. So here's the 2-year, which is up here, still above 3.05. The 10-year to the downside now, 2.76 and change. So an even wider inversion happening right now in the yield curve.
We're just sitting here, you know, chilling out. Thanks, Brendan. He went to Tim Hortons, grabbed a little coffee there. Look, man, I mean, this is what Google's doing. We're just going to sit back, like I said. I don't need to sit here and punch keys. We've already got the bangers on. Let's just hope that they can, you know, make some real money now as we get some more out on Google. And I'm just waiting. Like, this 12 minutes can't happen fast enough here. So, and what we mean by that is the 230 number coming for Jerome Powell. Like, look at Google. Reloaded right there out. You know, that was early. Then we grabbed it again when it faded down there, and I heard people saying, here we go, here comes the move down, and I was just like, nah, that's fine. We'll sit there and take that. So we take that 111.62 now on Google, blast that to the upside again. So, you know, in, out again. And then our Apple trade, this one, I wish it would go a little bit more, but again, we're going to go 2 for 2 since the Fed, so I can't do much better than that, but we'll wait to see what happens. I don't want to count these as winners. I mean, they're winners now, so I guess we can count them if you get out, but let's just see what happens moving forward. I mean, we still need there's some sort of a sneeze fest going on around
My
here.
bad.
You know, it's like when someone yawns and then everybody else just starts to yawn. It's like it's one of those things. But yeah,
allergies,
Apple
bro.
doing that. So is there anything else you guys want to look at? I mean, AMD, another name that I was in that we got out. So good thing we did when we did, for profit off that short there. Kind of bouncing around, not doing a whole hell of a lot.
Shop is strong.
Shopify.
Look at the double top
Damn
on
you,
Shop.
Shopify. Shopify is a name that I should have been in earlier anyways. So, I mean, that's one where we called this bottom at 30. It's just, it happened during Kathy Wood said something and popped this thing through the roof. So Shopify does go to the upside. So congratulations, any Shopify holders, because it was looking bad today when you were sub that 30. We really hit Shopify yesterday short. We had it short all the way. So we took $4 on that short, and then we should have had the same trade here. Unfortunately, it was way too early, man. 8:30, that popped. So the sticky note goes out at like 8:20, then boom, that pops it all the way up to 34.50. But yeah, I like that name. Shopify right here trying to take out that high. I don't know, man. It's hard for me to go long on a name like this, but Shopify might be something to look at as the market's bouncing around one more time.
Yeah, the one stock that did break out the high, Tesla did break its top, and then it came right back into like 806. It's trying to take out the high as well. 820 was a pretty big level the other day, but I'd be more concerned with the actual recent high, right? Like you care about like the Fed, like the actual tops that get made on the release, the bottoms that get made on the release at this point. Those are what can end up mattering, at least to me. But any number you guys want us to look at, like don't get me wrong, they're probably going to look pretty much the same. Like you look at Apple here, like Apple's barely even moved. Like Apple is essentially flat. Like you've been able to maybe diddle for a 50-cent move here in Apple, and I'm pretty sure that's going to change in 9 minutes, like we keep talking about. So you get in something you're comfortable with. If it's relatively strong, it shouldn't have stopped you out. That's good. If you find something weak, and the only thing I was able to look at that I liked to short on was Visa, and thankfully they had some news because I'm not sure what I like for a breakdown, but you could still have a breakdown. That's why I'm favoring this name here. We'll look to see if we can find anything else that's interesting. We already talked about crypto making a bit of a move there. That hasn't slowed too much. I see Roblox talked about a lot in the chat. Look, anything that's one of those high growth names is going to be in play here. But again, another failed break. And you want to see, can we actually continue through that high of the day or give you a deep enough pullback? Thankfully for me, Visa has its own thing going, and it looks like it has a challenge at this 206.50. If it breaks that price, and I'll zoom in for you here, if we break this, you've got room in a 205. 205 was the last support. It's been holding that 206.50 for about 45 minutes now. It breaks that floor. I think we can get a nice little win here on Visa, already in the money, and it might not need the market to do anything. That's a plus. Brendo?
Just checking the board here, guys, on what is the strongest, and obviously higher interest rates, good thing for banks. Banks trying to head back to the high day. I mean, they're still kind of sideways on the session overall, but I mean, JP Morgan, Morgan Stanley, all about 0.5% right now, heading higher.
It looks like we tweeted that out about the Magic 8 Ball here on Twitter. So if you guys want to go see that little segment, it was wrong, Magic 8 Ball. It did not get that point. Got as expected, 75. So thank you for watching one more time. We're trading this market live for you. I did get out. And hit the like button. Hit the like, hit the subscribe if you're here for the first time. We do this every single day. Today's just Fed day, so a little more excitement here. But, I mean, look at Apple. We went long. I mean, our best out was 50. You know, against that level, but that was an easy out for me anyways. Came up to 50, like we're going to trade out at 50 every time, and then we got out again. So just hoping that this can make a move. Apple, like almost a snooze fest right now, as the market is falling asleep as well. We need Uncle Powell to come through and do this. But there we go. Google's been a good trade for me, obviously. We got some more out up there. We don't have a huge position on, but we still have a third of what we had in total here. So still got a third on for Google. It's still 44 cents in the money, but honestly, I thought this would run a little bit more. I still had this 113 in my sights, and I still do. So, you know, I'm not getting anything out until this cracks back down below 111, when, like I said, Uncle Jerome will come and maybe throw some cold water on the market. And if he does, then fine. But that's where this volume-weighted average price is. I like the 111 area. We've had a couple of trades here today on Google for sure. Over 100 fills on Google for me today. But not a positive stock because we did have that short there that got taken out and a couple short shorts in here. We do have that 108 long, which was beautiful for that. But again, you never hold enough. And then the losers here on a bunch of these shorts, really just paying fees and losing like a dime and 20, 30 cents in here. But let's see if Google can hold out for the high side. Oh, one more name I want to get to, and shout out to Henry Z and everybody else who's part of Palantir Nation. I tweeted out earlier 975, if you guys remember that level. So I really like this level for 975 here for Palantir. We've talked about why. If I can just put this, it's right here, 975. So, it's not putting it on. There it is, right there. So you could see tops, I mean, that's a little bit lower. Tops, and all the way back to here, and then the bottoms right there of 975. So if and when this market gets going, I do want to hit Palantir to the long side. So that's just a little update. If this market rallies, you'll see me punch into a Palantir long.
Yeah, we just broke down on Visa through that support level. I just got out of PayPal. It just broke down as well. So I'm going to hold on to Visa at this point. I still like some entry points if we get any further to the downside and breakouts maybe in Microsoft. But there's other things happening. We'll wait this 5 minutes. SIGA is approaching not just fresh highs have already been made here today. So the monkeypox stock name, so approaching its pre-market tops here at about 18. It was a wick at 1940, but you got 1860, the significant high there on SIGA. So it's making some power moves. There is still movement in the market that isn't waiting around for Uncle Jerome to come through. As I said, I had the tight stop on PayPal, but I also have the target that's going to come in here on Visa in front of 205. And why 205? Because right now it feels as if, with the volume coming in, that we're not going to make these fresh lows. Like I would have expected on any kind of reverse, this should be traveling a little bit deeper. As a matter of fact, there are some reasons why I might just decide to get it out in front of 206. Like just take the money and run at this particular point. Like why am I squabbling over like 40 or 50 cents, Brendan?
I was going to show you the 10-year there. Here it is. Back to the downside even as we speak. Now 30 basis points on the spread between the 2 and 10 years. So almost at day lows, 2.76 and change. Right now for the 10-year. It's worth noting, guys, it's the first time since the 80s there's been back-to-back 0.75 increases.
We were just talking about the 80s in our meeting today.
Yeah, yeah, we were there.
It was a different time, that's for sure.
It sure was. All right, so again, we'll average into Apple down to 154. If it breaks it, then we're going to get out, but that's nothing new for that. Brendan talked about the banks. Let's go over to BAC this time. We looked at JP Morgan last time just to see. Oh, come on, BAC, really? Like this is the kind of stuff that we're talking about now? Didn't you just say that banks were near the high? No, I must have missed it. I thought banks were near the highs again, but not BAC. It doesn't mean that the other ones aren't, but Bank of America doing absolutely nothing. Let's just check out JP Morgan quickly here.
We're creeping up.
Yeah, not doing anything either. Is Goldman Sachs doing anything? 320. I mean, it was just at 323 yesterday. I know that because I own this name. Yeah, so absolutely nothing in the banking sector right now. Oil made a move to the downside a little bit there off that. So oil goes to 98, now back down. Oil's going to close in 3 minutes. So that's a name to look at here for crude, up 2%. Tried to break 100, didn't, got as far as 98. So crude is what it is. And I mean, I'm not going to get out of anything here. I mean, I don't want to really scalp this market. I think you'd be a little bit foolish for me to get out right now. But Apple's come right back in. We could get out and just hold half. So let's get out again as Apple's approaching the 50s. So we could just put an offer here. Why not? Let's do it right now. Put an offer. Well, there we go. We got it right away. So we'll take that again. Put that money, because now we're starting to go back up to the upside here as Apple trying to go for us. So there it is. We take a piece out. And then, of course, Google starting to go as well, right back to the top side. But hey, as you know, man, everyone's gearing up for Uncle Powell.
Yeah, 2.5 minutes.
Here we go.
Make sure you pay yourself. I sent it and got myself out in Visa. Good timing, too. Don't squabble over 40 cents, man. We're getting to 230. That's when it's going to be go time. Another entrant to your list, Amazon, or my list anyways. Amazon making a move back above this. Now, finally, something which has a chance to break out and have some room. 119.20. High in the open at about 10.20. It's the lower high that you have here going into the Fed number. So 109.25 on Amazon. Add that to the breakout list there. Of course, Microsoft's about to break the top right in front of the chairman coming out.
This has actually been the easiest Fed of all time, I would say, to trade. I mean, I don't think there's been anything difficult about this at all. It's doing exactly what we thought it would do. You were able to get longs. If you like names that you got longs, it was pretty easy to trade. The market didn't move at all. So what happened was you just were able to take good levels, hit them to the long side, and then just see what happens. Even if you're short, it's the same thing. Like, you could be short up here on Google right now. you know, just if you like the short, you could be short, you would have captured profit. Or you could have liked the long like I did, sat there. I mean, the only reason why this Google trade looks really good is because, well, I mean, first of all, the average price is right down here, so it would look good regardless. But we got that bottom. Like, if I don't sit there and grab that bottom, then like right now we're in the money 20 cents instead of 60. So it's not, you know, it's not moving around like crazy, but we still have enough shares on that we could do some damage here if it does go up, man. Riot, what's up to Chef Joe here, saying taking names, kicking ass and taking names on the Riot blockchain right now as Ethereum's up to 115.50. Wow, yeah, you ain't wrong about that one. There it goes to the upside. But again, just be very careful with these names. If you're not watching crypto and I'm just watching the NASDAQ right now, it'll just fall with Bitcoin again. But yeah, Riot right here, taking out 7 would be real nice, and then back up to 8. I mean, I could zoom back out on this one. This has been getting killed in the recent demise of crypto. But right there, $7, a good one. Good call out there by Chef Joe. And Sinner Steakhouse, never forget that name. And the next time we are on the East Coast, which we are now, but in Jersey, then we will visit Sinner Steakhouse.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Right, not the only one. We saw Coinbase making moves to the upside, showing some strength. You know, look, Bitcoin has slowed down a little bit, but it is still one of the strongest names heading up towards its high. You keep pulling back off the top, and the recent moves that just got put on BTC, every time I look over, it's actually being sustained. Coin has a huge short interest, by the way. So if it does get through that top, like, you could see a little bit of squeeze action, especially if we sustain the move. But once again, you're coming right to those highs and then pulling right back in. Now, we're going to get the chairman taking the podium, and then we're going to get a chance to see us possibly break out from here. But if we are patient for it, you know what the levels are. I know what I'm looking for. I'm looking for Amazon 119.25, 265.50 on Microsoft, and then 63 to the downside on that bad boy. Affirm is going to be one because of the Visa news. 24 support's going to make sense to me on Affirm because it was bullish after that Visa news.
All right, here we go. So he's going to be on the air, and then, of course, we're going to have Brendan talking to us. I like this break as well, AMD 88.50 long. We'll see if that can go through. Right now, 88.50 long on this name. We'll see, but here we go. We're going to see what goes on now. So he's on now. We're going to see what happens. We are long Google, we're long Apple, and we're looking to get longer on AMD. Again, like, this is not the Super Bowl or anything like that. It's just he's going to kick it off. He's going to start talking. He's going to take some questions, hopefully talk positive like he has in the past, and we're going to go from there. So here we go. Google back upside, Apple. They're all just dancing right now, and we're going to see what comes out, man. I am expecting some flushes here to happen, so let's go on this market. Here we go. There's the flush right now. I mean, almost on cue there. Flushing down. I just said I expect the flush to happen, and there it is. So let's see now what the secondary move is here for Mr. Powell and co.
And it doesn't even go that far. Like, that flush down in Amazon doesn't even take us back to that 118. Like, it's just, we're at 118 half there. I look at PayPal, which I got out of, and I guess a good reason to get out of it. Tight little stop there. It's actually extending a little further to the downside. So 84 on PayPal could come in for us. But really, it's not moving very much. Just keep in mind, he's got to say a few words. He's got to get digested. It's only been a minute. He only stepped to the podium here. Just stay patient with the levels that you like. It's the same way for that first half an hour. Find a trade, find a level, make sure you pay yourself off a little bit, and then be patient looking for the next steps to the upside or the downside. So I got mine locked and loaded, PayPal, Microsoft, Amazon, and a potential for a little bit of a firm. I'm going to check back in on Visa because it was so good, but that one actually bouncing still. So not the weakness I would have expected. Good thing we got out of it. Even in that reversal, Visa doesn't still break any lower. 205 or above it is showing some strength over in Visa. The bank's bit of a nothing burger so far. Brendan?
All right, first interesting comment, guys. Fed Chair Powell is saying that growth and consumer spending have both slowed significantly, which is obviously the whole point or a part of what they want to see in this process. So growth and consumer spending both slowing significantly.
Yeah, so about these longs then, probably
Short
not very
Walmart?
good. We did take, yeah, we'll take a 20-cent hit here on AMD if it does continue to fall down. We went long at that 87 level, but we're going to get out right now on an 87.80 break. So we're not going to be here for that long on AMD, especially if the news is not great, like Brendan just mentioned there. Again, some of these are prepared remarks, so It's more about the Q&A that comes through, but we never like to hear growth and all that is slowing and all that kind of stuff. So not great initial talk there for Mr. Powell. So, and again, look what happens. So we get out of our Apple because it breaks through 154, fine. We get out of AMD because it breaks there, fine. So, you know, we're still resting on Google. Let's see if this one wants to go. I'm not done with Apple. I mean, here goes Apple now back up to the upside. So, yeah, let's just get back in now and see if that's the real move or not. We're back into Apple now. So we get that 154.11. We might have just got trailed out on that. This is the risk when you have tighter stops. But again, like, I don't know if that means that the market's going to continue to the downside or it's just doing this bouncing around. So these aren't going to be heavy positions, although I have a decent one now on Apple, thinking that maybe we just saw the bottom there. So let's see if that can happen one more time. A breakthrough of 154. I mean, that's bottom there was only 90. So I'm definitely well comfortable with the trade that I have on right now, giving it to this bottom of 153.90.
Yeah, definitely. We'll try to do a little bit of lining it up and just try to celebrate your hits when you get them. We'll knock out Amazon. We waited for it to press down to that 118. It does manage to do that. Grab some quarters, already taking some out in front of 50s. Got to play it to that 119. And if it breaks out 119.25, I will take it to the upside. The second I heard that comment, I was like, well, what do I know that's literally at the high of the day? That maybe could get a bit of a push down if the market comes down. It was like Walmart, because I heard Trader Pratt talking about Walmart all day long. So shout out to you, Trader Pratt. Thank you for reminding me. This stock, after obviously disaster earnings, you're seeing it hold up tight, a revision of their forecast. And then you have a wick top, you got a 125.60, you got it barcoding. If the market flushes, I know where my out is, man. If we break the high of the day here, I'm getting the you-know-what out of Dodge. But if we pull back, you don't think we can't see VWAP? I mean, I'll take a shot here, risking 40 to 50 cents to see if my first out can give me 1-to-1, and then we're thinking 3-to-1. But the upside just came in big time as the Amazon just hit next level to the upside. So maybe we do get a little bit of that, Brendan.
We are looking for compelling evidence. Inflation coming down over the next few months. Pace of rate increases will depend on data. Pace of increases depend on incoming data. This one down here, interesting as well. Although prices for some commodities have eased, there's still additional upward pressure on inflation.
I don't have anything to say other than I mean, there's Apple right there, man. We loaded that shit up. Nice little move to the upside right now. Big time movement. Let's go, man. We are well in the money. Pump it, as they say behind us. Everyone getting pretty excited. There goes AMD as well. This is a big time move. This is exactly bang. This is what we want. This is why you watch the show. This is why we're here. We're here for you every single day. Apple 80 cents in the money. AMD rocking. Google $1 in the money. This is how we do it. Montel Williams style, or is it Montel Jordan?
Montel Jordan, Montel Williams, Montel Jordan, it doesn't matter. We just broke that quarter mark on Amazon, so that's going to rip to the upside. PayPal re-entry, that's back up toward that 85.50. We're going to, looks like we have a chance. We're through 12.5 on the NASDAQ. So remember, 12.5 on the NASDAQ gone. Where is my Microsoft fill?
Send it.
Did you get the Microsoft?
I got every fill.
Microsoft didn't even fill, but it doesn't matter. We got the longs in here. 120 next target for Amazon to the upside. 86 next target for PayPal to the upside. Is the market screaming now, Brendan?
Fed Powell, another unusually large increase in rates could be appropriate. It depends on the data still, guys.
Yo, check notes. He is not the baby daddy. Bang right there for Mike Crea, and I love that one. Thank you so much. That's the best. Look at AMD. Bring it. We are just rocking right now. We are at the highest spot. Look at Apple. Nice moves for Apple to the long side. Remember where we're long? 154 for Apple. That's $1 in that money right now. Google, I said we had high heights here. 113 is what we were looking for. So bang, down to 113. We take that one. So yeah, we are on fire, man. Even my wife is watching, so shout out to you, Marissa. Love you. She loved that Montel Williams, and that's where you check notes. Wrong name there. Let's keep going to the upside as we go, man. I like that, Neil. I'm stealing that check notes from you now. I'll give it back. Palantir also.
I stole it from somebody else. So
yeah,
it's all
that's
good.
Okay. It's your thing. Palantir to the upside there. 77s. Let's go, man. We only long 75 half. We already took out an 80. Come on, Palantir. You can do it.
You can definitely do it. So the longs have come into play here, guys. Here's the NASDAQ. If we're chewing right to the overnight highs, man. We get through this and sustain. You're talking about 100 to 150 points worth of upside. Obviously, Powell's on the podium. At this point, you're thinking buy the dips if you get a chance at them. So let's be a little bit patient with it. I'm seeing this little pullback and looking for an opportunity. I actually had shares at the bottom 118. We just pulled back and we're still like $1 above that. I now have the quarter break. I'm looking for VWAP here. PayPal is starting to pull back. You want to think about where you can energize back into some of these longs to play the trend here. PayPal coming right back in toward VWAP. Brendan?
So they are saying, guys, that it was unanimous, as we said, on the 75 basis points, but he's also just saying that it is likely appropriate to slow the increases at some point as well.
Yes, sir. Water break time. Yeah, shout out to everybody, man. Thank you for all the love on the chat. Yeah, I did call this, and you know, sometimes the sun shines on a dog's ass at least once a day. So there it is, man. There's the move. We're so happy. We've just crushed it. So as you guys can know, we were long Apple, AMD, Google, Palantir. You know, what else could we possibly be long? Everything maybe, but there it is, a nice little move upside for the market. Let's just lay back now. We have the trades on. We've already exited out. We've already called this whole move, man. I mean, I said 113 back for Google when this thing was at 111.50. So that's $1.50 right there. I mean, all the money is just coming in, man. Like just like Apple, bang. I mean, great trades, and now we're even going higher. Push, pump, let's go to the upside. I'm just gonna sit back, have the water, you know, and I'll come in when need be, because right now, I'm just gonna chill out. The only name I'm disappointed in, and not that much because we got a big shares on, is PLTR, and there it is, it taking out 80, so yeah, maybe we'll have to get a little bit more out here on Palantir as it's bouncing around.
Yeah, I got to ask, I'm going to be constantly looking for new names for you guys. Don't worry. 820 on Tesla just got taken out. So this one is now through its big support level. I'm going to try and get into that party. I want to add to it. We like PayPal, Amazon, and Microsoft. My stop did trigger on Microsoft, but it looks like it levitated past that 255.50 area because it's absolutely gonzo. So I want to get involved in the Tesla party in front of that 820 level because it's just gone. I mean, PayPal now looking at 120. Sorry. Amazon looking at 120, PayPal looking at that 86. Remember, 86.10 is the high of the day. You still haven't had a high of the day break on something like a PayPal, which Tesla has already done. I'm looking to add to positions. I'm looking to play pullbacks if they happen, but there's still significant price breakouts like this PayPal through 86.60. So we got the longs. We're looking for more. It's all about finding more opportunities. As good as it is, it can always get better, Brendan.
Could get higher as well. We will be looking at incoming data, including what we're seeing right now. They're looking for slowdown in economic growth activity. Some evidence we are seeing that right now. We will be looking closely at inflation. So some signs, guys, things are heading in the right direction.
And we put the trophy beside the bull here because obviously we've turned that around, and there it is. So the trophy, and we'll put it behind the bull there, but on this side there. Shout out to my kid. Actually, I don't want to break this. We'll put this over here right there. But there it is right now. As the market, we are just at the highest spot we've been at all day, and we are just stone cold chilling one more time. All of these trades were basically, this Palantir was given out at 8:30. So, I mean, that's been a big runner for me here. We'll get some more out at 85 if we're lucky enough to do that. And then AMD again, obviously this name. I mean, look at these numbers that we have on. $1.50 in the money, right? AMD $1 in the money. Google $2 in the money. If you came here for winners, you're looking at the right spot. This has been a big day here. We've got these winners on, and yeah, we are just cruising right now. I don't want to overtrade, which is why I'm not doing anything else. I already have these bangers on. We're already like.
I got a new one for you. Remember we talked about PayPal. PayPal high of the day, broke the high of the day. You've already got a nice move to the upside. Most things have already broken the tops, right? So like, there's very few names you're going to be able to try to pick up that hadn't taken out that high. PayPal had done it. Watch out for Tesla 825. It just turned at 824. Amazon, I'm looking at that 120 level, which is come and gone, but Amazon already tested this and made a break. So it tested the 120 break. It already pulled back off of it. This is why I like PayPal off the high of the day. I like Amazon. Remember we talked Amazon off 118, Amazon on the 119 break. This I'd rather hold because we've already entered to it twice, and then see if we can get PayPal to start going. But Tesla is the one I'm looking at now. 825 monster level on Tesla. Brendo, what's up, buddy?
So more that could help the market here, guys. Powell's saying it's time to go to a meeting-by-meeting basis, not providing any sort of guidance forward as they have in the past. So that is definitely a bit of a switch up.
Yeah, definitely interesting. By the way, we're getting a little bit of a dip back, so watch out for this little pullback that we're going to be having. If I take a breakout trade, I want to make sure that I'm paying myself and then getting right out. So we just had PayPal. It just reclaimed 86. 825 just pull back on Tesla. So I still like the breakout trade, and I'll still hold Amazon. But I'm thinking if we continue a trend trade, we can get dip buys in. We can definitely pay ourselves if you haven't done so already, and then we can consolidate for a breakout. That's 3 different things you can try to do here. We can still break out the highs. We can pull back to a significant level on like a Tesla, call it like 1818 to 1820 or so. On Amazon, what I'll be looking at on Amazon will be back down toward that 119.25 on Amazon. I like PayPal probably a little bit closer to that 85.5. But let's let it ride if you've got some decent winners, but always look for new opportunities. I'm not really looking for any shorts at this point. If I do, I might go back to the Visa well. That's certainly something we can try to work with. That's still been relatively weak. I also liked Affirm, unfortunately, and that's one of those you're not going to be able to. Look, you're not going to catch every single trade, right? I like the firm off of 24, didn't quite get it, but this is also breaking out. Actually, that move's more impressive than most of the stocks I've looked at. It already moved like $1.25 off a $24 stock. But Tesla, you know I love me some Tesla. 825 is too juicy a trade. That's a clean breakout trade. I didn't have a level I liked on a dip on Tesla, so all I can do is take the most obvious breakout, and that's a nice round number at that quarter.
We just want to get some tea there. So, yeah, again. Mike. Oh, Mike, yeah, okay, good one. There we go. Went and got some tea there. Oh, you want to go to Brendan quickly? Yeah. All right, let's go to Brendo.
Just quickly, guys, he's saying, Powell's saying that we should take rates when it comes to next year as a, quote, grain of salt.
Okay. All right. So you could see right now a grain of salt. Okay. We'll wait to see. I think. I mean,
what is he, Confucius? Like,
I don't know what he's doing right there, but that's why we love him. And you know what? Like, whatever, man. I mean, this is back-to-back jacks. Like, I've been talking about Uncle Powell for a long time. And Jerome, you don't need to get me a Christmas present this year because we just gave me one right now. I mean, we might be the way that we traded this today was like just absolutely bonkers to that upside right there. So, I mean, just absolutely destroyed this. It was great. All the way to the upside. I mean, I just wish we had more of Google right now. They took down, I mean, my target was 113, so we just sat there and just absorbed everything we could at that 113. And now, how does 114 taste, Google? This is a $2 in the money, sorry, $2 in the money on Google. And then my bad, it's $2 in the money on Apple as well. Like, there's so much money piling in here that honestly, it's like, I don't even know what to do. I know what to do. Let's get some out. Let's get something out on Apple here. That's a nice little move to the upside. There we go. Take an 81. I got to cancel that now. But hey, it was a great trade. And for me, like I said, this was probably like you've had to have made, I'm hoping anyways, a little bit of cash on this move, man. I mean, it was, like I said before this is before, remember, this was before this move happened. I said it was probably the easiest Fed day that I can remember. And that's a lot of Fed days. So, like, let's just see what happens now. But the long's printing out now. Nothing wrong with getting something out of your trades. I mean, look what Palantir's doing right now. You want to talk about, like, a day maker. I mean, we hit this to the long side, a $9 stock. That $9.75 finally breaks. And now it's just blue skies ahead. So, shout out to everybody. Obviously, we're at the highest spot we've been at right now. So, a lot of short covering happening. You're 100% right there in the chat. I believe that to be true. Too early for me to give you some swing trades there, Christian.
Be careful shorting people. I see a couple people in the chat. I haven't looked at Snapchat since the numbers came out. Since Powell hit. So I don't know what Snapchat looks like. All I will say is be careful. I'm staring at Tesla 825. It got to 824.99 and then just pull back a little bit. So I don't want to miss out on that. But just be very careful shorting. A lot of times you do get a relatively clean trend. It doesn't mean there aren't pullbacks. I mean, you could have just scalped a short on Tesla at 825. I'm not doing it. Maybe you like a short like this, but just have it to find out. Like you say, okay, 960, good level, short 55, 56, have it out at 960, no problems. I've done that before. That can work for you. That's what we did with Visa. It didn't stop me out, but we definitely took that on Walmart because I wanted exposure to the downside. So there's my tight entry and exit there. I could have reversed long Walmart, but I wasn't looking at that stock for long. I was looking at the 3 names that we actually were able to get, but it didn't matter. Like, it didn't matter. Like, we looked at a lot of different long breakouts, long dip buys. but pretty much everything got to the upside. Even a weak stock was going to be able to do that for you. Just be real cautious with any of these shorts. I do feel like if we get a dip, that 12.5 on the NASDAQ that we just broke out from, like that could end up being support. So I understand where the market is trying to break from and where we could maybe hold up and then take profit very quickly and have yourself an out if you're going to have to short. Brendan?
So he's not saying the R word yet, but he's saying this. We think we need a period of growth below potential. We think we need a period of growth below potential to create some slack. So not the R word, but yeah, that was a bit of a downtick.
All right. Yeah, you don't like those downticks, that's for sure. But I just looking at the net and like everything is still up. Like nothing's really downticking. You can see the NASDAQ right here up 4%. Wow. You know, definitely a big day. Thank you, CDM, man. You are 100% right, man. Make it rain right now. I mean, that's exactly what's been happening over here. So I got to make up for it. I'm not here Friday, Monday. So we're going to make it rain today for all you guys. And then on Friday and Monday, Neil and Arun will hit the same trades, well, make it rain as well, and get going on that. So I'm trying to make a little bit of money now. We're going to get out of some more Palantir. We just got out 88, but I don't want to get that out, but this is a big move for Palantir, and I don't want it to stop at 10. So hopefully it can continue its ride to the upside, but again, you need to take some kind of profits. I mean, AMD all the way to the upside. Let's just take some out. Nothing wrong with letting these ride. I mean, honestly, it's not.
It's not even power hour yet. That's the thing.
This is not damaging. It's just.
Yeah, like, give yourself a chance.
Yeah, and that's what we're doing, man. We're going to try to hold on to a little bit of these now, but anytime we get up to these tops, let's just take a piece out. I really just want to hold Google to see if this can go all the way. It just touched that 114. Probably should have got out. Let's see if we can do that one more time. But yeah, I hope all the people shorting get smashed as well, but that's just because I'm long. Tomorrow's another day.
Yeah, I mean, look, I saw Snapchat. Like, I'm not saying that isn't a reasonable setup. Like, I'm not telling you, do you. Like, get to trade your own book. If you want to short it, it actually probably gave you a decent pullback. But even BABA, like, BABA was one of the weakest stocks all morning. It just, like, it's even starting to break back out here. I thought maybe this would have a reasonable trade in there. Tesla just made the break of 825. So Tesla doing that thing that it does, which is extend to the upside. And I mean, whatever, man. Like, everything's going to the upside here. What am I even talking about? Tesla's not any different. But I don't see anything I like to the short. If I did, trust me, like, I wouldn't be shy about testing something off of those highs. I did have a couple, including Visa. Tesla just got 825, 826. I will scalp a part of the move, going to try and hold it. I would have loved to have gotten a dip buy in Tesla. But that was one of the last names that I came over to, unfortunately. So let's see if it can't maybe extend here. It had a very tight consolidation off of that 25 level. When it got to 99, it really only retraced to 823, which gives you a bit of a tight window to work this trade. Because if you get below that 23 and maybe you see 18s, what you don't want is a wick off top. Like, of all the stocks I've traded, I just took maybe like 80% out because it was a breakout. This is a high. This is a long at the high of the day. It's the only stock where I took a long at the high of the day, and that's why in a breakout trade you always get out, or at least I always get out and pay myself, and then I'm just going to immediately start to dump it. I prefer Tesla in here, and I don't want to give back the profits that we've been able to make overall on some of these other names here. Obviously, a lot of these stocks are looking pretty strong. And by the way, that Snapchat, I'll say a little congratulations to you if you took it. Probably a good setup for you. I'd be paying yourself on the way back. I'm looking for support at 1250, and I'm looking for a re-entry on some of the longs that we have. Now, Amazon, for me, I'll go over it again. That's still going to be closer to 119.25 than it is to these highs. It's actually holding right back at the high of the day here. This is the second long, not the first long, that I'm now holding in Amazon. And then PayPal's not going to be terribly different there. It's now breaking back through those. That's me getting out flat. That's not actually a short. I'm not short PayPal. I'm looking back for that 85 level that we liked on PayPal. I don't think we're going to see any of those lows from earlier on. But if we can get a dip back into in front of our entries, 85 quarters, that's what I'm going to try to accomplish. If we end up taking a fresh high and we're still in this pocket, then I can take a breakout. But I want the market taking out the high as well.
Oh, so you're out of Tesla there. Okay, I was just watching.
The break wasn't very good. The break gave like 80 cents, and then it pulled right back in. The breakout trade, I'm always looking for that initial push, and then it goes up like 40, 50 pennies, and then you throw your offer above, so whoever stops out above that recently made high gives you your fill. Sometimes that's $2. Sometimes that's $3 or $4. And other times it's like 50, 60 cents, right? So like earlier on today, that was a clean $1.50, $2 if you took some of those trades. on Tesla. But just now, at the high of the day, it wasn't so clean. But it could always energize back into the upside. Got to get back over here. PayPal about to take out that high I was talking about, Brennan.
I was mentioning, guys, he hadn't said the R word yet. He has now. We don't think that we have to have a recession down here. And then I don't think U.S. is currently in a recession. Don't think the U.S. is currently in a recession. So here we go, back to the upside.
Oh, man. All right. So, yeah, we're going to wait to see here what happens with this recession talk. Again, like, I hate that kind of talk. We just went long into PayPal, into Tesla right now. I mean, it just went up to 825.90 or so there as well. So, yeah, that was a smooth dollar quickly. But now it's not doing anything. I've stuck NSB there, it looks like. This might not go too much, which is fine. I mean, we just got out. Like, look where we just got out of AMD, by the way. 89, like that is $1, that's $1.25 there on AMD. This is $2 on Apple right now. This is 17 cents, which is actually, you know, now that I see Palantir, maybe we should get a piece out here on Palantir. 17 cents in the money on Palantir. Google, $2 now. It just was getting back to 114 again. The only stock that I'm worried about right now would be Tesla, which I'm in the money, 50 cents, but needs to go through. So if it can break higher, great. But right now, the market's got to go. We'll hold on to this Tesla trade, put another banger on the board for you on this one, up to the upside. Hopefully it can continue to go. Like we said, we'll take $1 on a little bit there for Tesla, then hold the rest. But right now it is having a hard time getting through 826. We are at the high of the day right now, so you know, any kind of a break higher and we're out of Tesla.
Market took the top.
Yeah, the spread is already though, like the spread is like 20 cents, man. I can't even get filled. I'm at 825.90 and can't get filled right now, even though the level 2 changed. So there's a lot of inside trades happening here. Tesla's going to need to blast for me to get out of this one. 80 right now. Let's see if it does do that, though, up to 86.
Yeah, we're now, the Q&A obviously
826.
Continuing on here. Yeah, we're rejecting the high on individual names. We did make a top on the ES. I looked over. Amazon didn't give me that fill back down, you know, on that dip buy. 120 is looking pretty solid here. If we can start to consolidate, maybe that's what we're going to have to look for. It's 255. Power hour is not even started yet. We still have a lot of time for these moves. That's why I don't want to discount the possibility that you get a stronger dip to the downside here. If we get a dip, I want to be all over this if we get a chance to get some of the prices that we know we absolutely love. I got to go over to one of the strongest stocks that we're able to see, which was already with a positive catalyst. I mean, a firm, like, forget about it. Like, this stock is now, it's now got $1.50 from 24.20. Like, this is really starting to break, and it has lots of room. Like, 26 is a monstrous level here on a firm. So I got to add this to my list. I think on a dip, 25 even makes some sense. I know sometimes you got to grit your teeth, but I'll grit my teeth if the market keeps running and then just have to take it at 26 even. I should have had this at 24. I said if I exited the Visa, and I did get out of Visa before 2:30, that I would look at a firm for the long side of it, and I never got into a firm. It's a mistake. Maybe it's my bias getting the best of me, which you shouldn't let happen to you.
Yeah. You know, for me, the bias was to the long side, and I'm actually glad for that. But at the same time, like this Tesla trade, I'm just watching this because honestly, I can't even get 80 cents. Like it's not going upside, and I know I've been sort of against Tesla here a little bit. So this is kind of the thing where everything else is just at highs right now, like real high, except for this name. So yeah, maybe Tesla's not the long that we want. We can get out of it and then just forget about it. But Tesla right now, definitely the one that didn't go. So, you know, maybe this is the name that we need to get out of. We'll give it a little bit of a shot here. But yeah, we could take there we go. Whatever. I just entered that one out there on Tesla. It's basically, that sucks. Like 50-cent hit. Like that's not, you know, I want to get that again. So it needs to go through 826 then. So my long is going to be 826. Even if this goes back up and blah, 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 it's fine. I just didn't need that to do anything to the net today in case it did crack down. So we do take a little bit of a hit there on Tesla, but a little premature. Look at this one, man. Spin this, man. Palantir is now that 20 cents in the money. So, I mean, this is really what's holding my net and creating the net just to keep going higher and higher here because Palantir has made that nice little run up to the upside. Don't know where to expect this to go from here, but it's a nice move. Apple hovering around highs. Do we want, I mean, maybe let's just take some pieces out now because like Neil said, well, we're still so early though.
It's not even 3. That's what's killing me. Like, So muscle memory is a thing. In my head, it's like, oh, it's got to be like 320, 330, because we came on a bit earlier today.
That's
so
probably
I'm
why.
having to constantly remind myself it is only 3 o'clock. It's only 3 o'clock. It's only 3 o'clock. And there was, I think someone in the chat just mentioned, apologies because I'm trying to read a lot of messages, it was Frank Jones, was like, he can't imagine that we don't see a dip. Look, the reason I'm only still in Amazon out of the longs was just that I kind of felt like I was so convinced we're going to get a bit of a pullback and give us a chance that if there is a dip that we can catch something at really good prices. And that's what I'm being a little bit patient with here, at least trying to be patient with. And it's not an easy thing to be patient when you see the market make that high. And if we pull back, the ES could bounce at 4,000, 12.5 on the NASDAQ. Those seem relatively obvious to me. Like if I find a stock at the price, at one of the prices I like, with the market bouncing off either one of those levels, it's hit the long. It's hit the long Amazon in front of 119.25. It's hit the long PayPal in front of 85 if it happens to be that. It's hit the long Tesla. I don't think it'll be 810, probably more like an 818, something along those lines. Those are the three I'm watching. Affirm, I don't know if, whatever. I don't know if we'll be able to get a chance to get back into Affirm at 25. It's kind of gone far enough that maybe it doesn't come to the level I'd like to pick up the dip. That'd be 25 even. I shouldn't be shocked that it's up this much because, look, the stock absolutely pushed on that Visa news and broke out on that Visa news. So I should have been right over to this as one of the more top plays to the long side initially.
So just a quick update there. Yeah, Visa, I really like any more of a downward move there in Visa. I know the DOJ is investigating, but, or they're trying to, I don't even know if it was the DOJ. No, not Justice, it wouldn't be. Anyways, we'll find out more about that. But we already know the story there. Multiple options at tap as you exit your purchase. But right there, so we did take another piece out on Apple. So just so you guys know, I have 10% of Apple left. I have about 20% of AMD left. Google, we have like 10% or less maybe left of Google, and a little bit more than that on Palantir, but we just got a nice little 94 out there on Palantir. So we are starting to unravel. Well, we've already started to unravel. I mean, realistically, these 80s and 90s was a great out for me there on Palantir. The only real mistake for me, and it's not a mistake, it's just all these outs as we approached 113. I just thought that the day's high there at that time for Google would have been a great trade. I did not expect this to get up to 114, but in all of this, and I'm watching Tesla again, in all of this, it's like this in and out for flat right there basically saved me like $2-3 to the downside here on Tesla, because I probably would have got out on these break. Well, maybe not yet. I mean, it would have been probably down here if I was really convinced on this move, would have been 820. So, you know, that would have been a $5 hit on Tesla. So we don't want to do that. So we got out of the way pretty quickly there. But some people said on the chat, like, this is when you basically go out and go grab a beer and chill out. I would do that, right? I don't, like, you don't need to be here to make your day, your month, or anything like that. We've already made our day. Will we try to make more money? Of course. But something's going to have to happen. And right now, the NASDAQ, this is what's happening. I'm waiting for a dump down to buy more. I don't know if we want to go short anything right now. We'll find some names. There has to be names that go short.
It's a very different thing, like waiting for a pullback to buy dips, than to just say, oh, no, I'm going to short, but it has to go down from here. Like those are, and we get that all the time. It's like, well, if you think you're going to get a dip buy, why don't you just go short? You don't have to trade it, because that, like, if it doesn't come down, all I've done is not make a long trade. Like, there's a big difference between, okay, I'm not making a long trade, and saying, no, it has to happen, I'm going to take that short. I get it. Microsoft 269, that looks really good. 825, the short on Tesla initially was good. The failed break, I suppose, is working, although not very much. The only thing about Microsoft, which gives it a little bit of a difference, is in the morning we were talking about 65, and there is that 70 level on the daily chart as well. So if you look at it below this, it's a pretty significant resistance on the daily chart. So at least I can tell you, this makes some sense if you're already in it. Chasing at $1.50, I'm not doing it, but I'll tell you, that does make some sense. If you're in it here, you got a level on the daily chart, you got yourself an obvious stop out. I can get behind something along those lines. I'm looking at still some relative strength in PayPal, a little bit closer, like it's at its breakout price. So if we end up breaking down here in the futures, anything that holds the breakout high, I'm going to like it for just to go back to the long side. Like if it can't push down, then certainly that's going to be a sign of relative strength. Like that's why I keep going back to something like Affirm. If you see any other names, guys, just let us know. We don't mind looking at it. People were talking about Mara. look at the strength in Mara here, like just continuing to hold up at the high. Like this made a $1.10 move, like a 10% move to the upside. Like this is the thing we're talking about. That long, you've made coin on it, right? Like I had I'm not gonna lie. Like you saw me, I had Coinbase short this morning. That kind of sucked. And then actually, my worst stock was thinking that not Tide. It's that PGY had that one. I got run over on Boeing because of the stupid earnings call, right? So you're able to make it back. The last thing you want to do is sort of double down. And I should have showed you guys this trade because I've done this twice now. Not the first time I've done it, but I actually took a fill toward the tail end of the earnings call, and look what happened. It was consolidating off the low of the day. Something gets said. I don't even know what. Doesn't even matter what. Boom, you're stopped out. Thankfully, I didn't get a $2.50 hit. It could have been a heck of a lot worse. But look at the energy. Look at the volume spike where I was taking the fill. And the earnings calls matter, guys. Brendo?
Yeah, just a quick update, guys. They're not really seeing a terrible excitement in this, in the sense that he's saying everything we've heard before. We want to see demand running below potential for a sustained period, which he said before. Employment cost index on Friday will be an important indicator. He also said they're still going to pay the most attention to both the CPI and PCE readings, the next ones, to judge what happens in September. The next CPI reading exactly 2 weeks from today.
All right, so yeah, the Fed is going to look at data. I'm sure, I hope that that's what they're going to do moving forward. So again, that's kind of the answer that we're looking for, right? Is like, what are they going to look for? You know, what kind of a reading maybe on, you know, those PCEs, and you talked about CPI as well. You know, what kind of reading are they looking for? So that way, as traders and as investors, if that number comes out, you know, much improved, then we're like, okay, you know, we know obviously that the Fed are looking at that, but they should have, I mean, that's what they're looking at anyways. So that's going to be something there. All right, so I went to Amazon, and again, this is what I mean. Like, we're just trying a little short. I thought maybe breaking 120 could happen there. It did break. We did go into the money on this one, 20 cents, but we didn't take it, and now it's busting up against us 40 cents. But this is just like, I mean, here we go. I'm actually making money despite having this trade short because all my other ones are ripping. We do not like sit here and load into a short. Like I said, let's hold this one, Amazon. It's not down on the day. Oh, that's one of those. Darn it. I didn't even notice that earlier when I was trading Amazon, eh? Like, I didn't even look at it. Like, look at this long down here, 118 on Amazon. That's on the sticky note. And thanks to John, by the way. I saw your note there in the chat. Yeah, you're welcome, man. I mean, the sticky note is done for a reason. It's for you guys. I mean, I could not share it, but I don't want to do that, right? So right there into this, I'm going to short Amazon into 121. But again, it's gone a lot today. I like the name, but with earnings still on deck for Amazon, I just don't know, you know, if it's going to have that move to the upside like these other ones. So that's why we're still in Google, which is now $1.70. I mean, Apple is still the champ, man. I mean, we went long twice on Apple there. So part of my excitement today is for these reasons, man. I mean, we really hit the longs into that market, and wow, what a great experience that was for Fed. You know, hopefully every Fed day can be like this one, man. A big one, really, really good. We still have an hour to go. So, I mean, these upside moves, look at AMD right now, back to the highs. Apple is at the highs there, Apple, at the highs right now of the day. 156 for Apple. Are you kidding me right now? That's a fantastic price, a fantastic movement upside for Apple. So we'll sit here on Amazon, but we're not going to like rest on this trade. I'd like to get a little more short rate around here. It almost came in for us 120.60 or so. We'll take another short, just watching this 121. It breaks it, we're out. But this short, I don't mind it because there are some levels up here and some consolidation. So hopefully we can get Amazon back down to the downside. But if this market wants to keep going up, man, I'm down with that.
Yeah, we're definitely down with that. Someone asked my opinion on Visa. At this point, look, it broke out. On the news, you had resistance at 08, right? So I shorted that twice, including before the Fed, but now you've broken out of that. And I got to think the only significant prices you got left is maybe that 08 turns into support, and then right back to where we were. Like if you have the mind that you want to short something and you're saying, well, I can't see why Visa would break where it was at the moment we had the news drop for the credit card names, that's 214. You're diddling in the exact middle at 211, right? It's 208, it's 214, it's back off at every other price. And speaking of diddling in the middle, I'm kind of sitting here on PayPal, and I don't want to get too much more aggressive on the bid. You can't even see that. I have to zoom in so far for you to be able to see how it's holding 86 bottom, 86.50 top. The top end of the range has been sitting there for the last 40 minutes now. Since 2:30, we've been sitting there in this tight little range on PayPal. Like, this is what we're talking about. I'll play inside the range for a little scalp trade if we can get it, but I just want to see this market make another leg up so I can get back into PayPal at 86. I've had the 85 long. I've had the 86 break. That didn't do as much as I'd like, and I'll just take it 86.50. Grit your teeth if you have to be able to do it, guys. This market is going to give you some chances here. We still got 50 minutes to go. 50 minutes to go, and someone asked about Micron. Do I like it short? I like Micron short this morning, and Micron short this morning was good. Micron just broke out and went $1.50. So things have changed, and it would probably have to get to $63 before I'm like, okay, that's a level I'm short Micron, and that's probably something I'll be looking at tomorrow. I don't think that's a today trade at all.
No, if you're gonna
look,
go no, who knows?
Maybe,
If you're gonna go short
who knows?
Micron, I'm gonna just quickly look at AMD here because maybe we are at some levels. I mean, this 88. Maybe we just get some out. I honestly, right now, it's just like, whatever. We could just start getting some out. It's been a great day for us, and I hope it's been an equally great day for you guys. So we'll take a piece out here for us. Whoa, now it's starting to go back to the downside. Okay, maybe we can get, okay, there, well.
Well, here comes
that was easy. That just came back down, and we got another piece out. So we are just getting lighter and lighter on the trade today, coming through. Palantir, all right. I mean, we could take another out there if we wanted to. And then so we are going to take it out there on Palantir. Sorry, I didn't mean to leave that so fast. We'll take another out at 92. We're long at 75. So thank you for that funny. Someone put a funny comment there about that sun shines on the dogs. You know what? But the thing is that's
twice a day.
Yeah, that's not a
Wait a minute. No, that's
once
wrong.
a day.
Once a day.
But that's not like it's not anything that I came up with or anything like that. So
I like that.
I don't even know. I'm not sure where that's from.
I feel like there's a movie line.
I feel like it's a TV show.
You think it's a TV show?
I almost feel like someone said that a lot on a TV show. But
I could see that.
I don't know. Do you guys know where that's from? But anyways,
you guys are great. You let us know in the chat. Usually
ASML, Starbucks there.
ASML?
Yeah.
ASML reports tonight, I want to believe.
Oh, maybe that's why.
Yeah, we still have even earnings to talk about. Look, we haven't even talked about Meta. So I haven't even looked at Meta. And one of the reasons I'm kind of staying away from it, when you get that report tonight, and I didn't have a great read on it yesterday, so I stuck to the stocks that I was watching and had reads on this morning, just to keep things simple. And there's nothing wrong with Meta. It's just I didn't trade it today, so I'd rather not go to something new in this situation. No feel for the liquidity, no feel for how it's moving. Nah, not today. But here comes. And why do I feel this way? I mean, come on, give me a break, Microsoft. I just talked about how there was a reason you could look at that 69 because of the daily chart, the 269 on the daily chart. So this is me. It's like, how many times does it have to do this? 3 tests at 269, one including a week break. And then the second I get in, now someone's stacking the bid on Microsoft. Like, give me a break. Like, the second I get into it.
Stacking bid might be okay, though, because if he gets whacked.
I hope someone was stacking the bid
short?
at 69 even, and I have the short off the high of the day, which is about to get stopped. But I don't see him on the bid anymore. If he comes back, I'll just get out wherever it happens to lie. But this market wants to crack up. I want the PayPal break. I'm looking for Amazon to take out 121. It can't seem to get there. The buyer looks like they just threw a couple 17,000 share orders in the 90s, and then at the evens, they got some filled. That could be the residual there at 07, but I haven't seen them on the book since it got above that 269. So it might have been a bit fugazi. That's why you want to see it actually break the high of the day, which it obviously didn't just do there. Yeah, they got filled. So they could be covering, look, let's be real, they could be covering a short trade.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
so
who knows, right?
You want them, I mean, obviously, if there's someone on the bid, you want them to get filled because it means two things, right? Either they're short already and they're getting out, which I don't think would be the case on this one. Remember, Microsoft did report.
Yeah.
But the other thing, too, is if the guy wants the long and he gets the long and the long isn't right, then he's going to have to market that down, which is why I personally like it when those kind of guys are against me. But, obviously, if they keep bringing it up.
The other thing, too, is
there's only so much pain you can withstand.
Sometimes a trader that's big, they might like the long, but they don't want to actually take it breaking the high.
Right.
So they want the long while it's consolidating. Like, they'd rather just play into it and sit in the trade for the break. Instead of trying to get filled above the high, they might just sit in that consolidation. But that, like Sean's point, like if it breaks down here like at 40s, and I'm sitting below, kind of hoping if it breaks these 40s that you get a flush into 80s, maybe, or sorry, into 68 even, and then someone has to cover. That's what I'm kind of going for here. We're not getting too much more extension through the top. When I look over at the market, which I've got to do every now and then, No, the ES is making extensions through the high. It just feels like we should be breaking out, and what I'm looking at isn't doing so. So I got to check a few other names here to see why we're not really breaking any higher. We haven't really looked at the automotive sector. I'm just going to throw it out there that Ford power move to the upside. Like this is like you could have had anything, but some things are more clean than others. Ford off of this support at 1280 and off of VWAP, like this is on the line at VWAP. This is on the line at support and then breaking through the high of the day. Keep it simple. This is what Sean means about it being easy. Almost any stock you could look at, whatever support you liked, if you bought that dip, you're off to the races. What's going on?
Fahad was telling us it's White Men Can't Jump is where that's from. The dog Sean.
Yes, it is. Yeah, because like he's making fun of Billy. Yeah.
So there it is. Yeah. So I mean, we knew it was a pretty epic saying there. So thanks to Fahad
Fahad's
for that
a basketball
one.
dude.
Yeah, Fahad is a basketball dude.
You gotta watch that movie, man. You know you gotta watch
There's
Hustle,
lots.
man. You gotta watch Hustle.
Oh yeah, I gotta watch Hustle because the Raptors just grabbed that guy. But right now we are trying to hustle there. We're not gonna hit the red market. I don't think today. We're up 4%. But right now your boy has the short on Amazon. So let's see. We're back to flat now. There's that average in. We did get a little jiggy with it down there at 120.10, but we average in at that 60 mark, like we said, giving us right now. So in at 10, in at 60, average price 30. So that's where we're short right now. 32s on so we're flat now on Amazon. I just there's my last piece. I mean, we still have a piece obviously for AMD, but what I'm telling you now is most of these longs that I have on, and we don't show share, we do not show our share size. Whew. Tongue twister there after what we've only been on the air 6 hours today.
5.
So anyways, just letting you guys know that we are getting very light on all of these trades. I'm holding Google. This is going to look silly, but again, I have under 10% left on this trade. And then really, Palantir, under. I mean, they're all under. So let's just look here at some trades that I'm interested in. So I am interested in this Amazon trade. Why? Because we have that 121 there, right? So if you're going to look at Amazon, we've been here. That high level right there is 121.50. So if we do take down 121, I will get out and then relook at that at the 121.50 level. But again, these are not huge positions. The Amazon trade is an average one. It's about half of the size that I would normally take on Amazon, and it's less than half of this trade that I had earlier. So this is what I mean. Look at this Amazon trade. Long at 118 out here. These are 118, 119s, right? That's a 118.70. That's our best out there. These are 118.50, so it's only 50 cents. But then you hold the last piece. This is the last 10 or 15% upside there for $2. And we already hit that 120 high, right? So if you sort of zoom back out now, you can see there's 120 right there. It was the high before all this chaos happened. And if you go right back to where we were pre-Fed right there. Amazon, this is one of the names that really, really took off, right? I mean, it took off $3 to the upside. So this is why I'm looking at Amazon and I'm thinking to myself, this one has some retracement possibilities back to the downside. So let's see if it can hold out truth for that and give us that trade. So Amazon, we're holding out. We'll take a piece out if we can get it back to 120. And then hopefully, the rain comes in on this name and we get back into somewhere here, 119.50, something in this consolidation, 119.80 would be fine. Just trying to top off the day right now. My net really hasn't changed in the last 20 minutes. So hopefully the market will start to move. But I mean, look at the market the last 20 minutes. It's trying to break, coming back in. Yep. You have it right here. It's kind of a nothing burger. You will get scared, and my net will start to go up, trust me, when we break this high. But again, we did get out of one of our last pieces of AMD, so I don't have the greatest market exposure right now for any move, to be honest with you.
I'm going to pay myself on this Microsoft. Thank you guys for pointing out the 69, because sometimes when in doubt, zoom out. We talked about the multiple levels of resistance on the daily on Softy, and then I didn't go back and look at those on this name, but I did pay myself at the bottom of the range because I still feel like the market is relatively strong. I still haven't been able to get, as much as we're having a tight consolidation and a bit of a pullback, there haven't been the dip buy opportunities that I would have liked to have seen. That's just not materializing. So, yeah, I mean, shorting off the highs, it's going to work. At worst, I'll be slightly slightly better than break even on this last Microsoft trade. And the crazy thing about Softy today is that I will have actually made my money short of stock, which is a bit weird given the way that it's traded. But there's a lot of questions, and everyone wants to look at multiple names here. Meta, This is holding up very strongly going into, they haven't reported this week. Obviously, we're going to get the earnings from them. They're doing exactly the same as the rest of the market. I mean, you're rejecting a 170 breakout, and then you're literally holding 169 to the bottom. So there's a scalp trade in there to be had. One I'm not making after putting it in on Microsoft. Tesla's still looking pretty weak, I should say, off 825. That breakout is still going to be in play. It's now through 826 and a half. I keep seeing some asks about things like PGY. PGY, it's actually down below VWAP and looking relatively weak. Going into this power hour, if a small cap stock is below VWAP, I'm not sure you want to mess with it unless you're sitting in a short, which, just take your profit if you happen to get a chance. And wowzers. Someone was asking us, we had a super chat, was that about a firm? I'm not sure if I just take profit, and thank you, Chad Fletcher, $10 there, appreciated. Take profit on a firm that seemed to have stalled. I'm under PDT rule, so I don't want to burn a day trade to make some profit. Kind of want to let it ride and risk it down to break even. I can't speak for other people's risk tolerance. Like that, and that's sort of the thing here. Like if you get an extension tomorrow, I'm pretty sure I did mention that a firm's got some serious room to run in. And you also have the catalyst from Visa. Sorry, I keep saying it's like the Visa news from the credit card maker news as well. So that's another reason why you could take another leg to the upside. And I get it. You've got at least another $1.50 to next resistance, and you got to be dreaming about that 30. I always like to pay myself, but I've never had to operate under PDT. So if you've got the risk to be able to handle it, and you liked the swing anyways, and you're breaking out from 24, and maybe you got to stop at 23, and this hasn't paid you enough, fine. You want to let it ride. It's not what I would do, but I don't know your risk tolerance. I don't know your goals going into that trade. But I will tell you, it does have a second catalyst. A, it can benefit from the market move to the upside here. B, it can benefit from that, like we talked about, so the point of purchase. There being more competition, and that's positive for a firm. That's why you saw Visa, MasterCard under weakness. So there is another bull case to be made than just the market only going up on a firm. And by the way, it's not down 2%. That's an error on our charts. I'll keep saying that over and over again. A firm is very clearly up 10% on the day here today.
Yeah, Amazon's up 5%, and our chart's showing the same thing, down right now. We just went into the money again, 10 cents on Amazon, down to 120.20. But again, not really dancing too much. Let's check out some of the EV names again. What about NIO? I mean, I do want to look at Tesla maybe. Okay, NIO's still kind of hovering around here. So hovering around 19 again. Nice move to the upside. It only got as high as 1950. That's probably a good fade. The daily chart's not going to show anything. What's a 20-minute going to tell us here? Yeah, I mean I like that 1950 there. It's come in a couple times. So fade out through 1950 if you did like something. I mean, maybe I should be short NIO right now instead of short. You know what? Let's put on a NIO short now. I mean, I was going to say maybe we got to go short NIO instead of short Amazon. Well, I'm already short Amazon, so maybe this is the play that we need to look at. Let's put a little bit on for this. See if it can come back in. And again, I want the market to go up, but we already kind of light on those positions. So right now, the market looks like it wants to fade out. Checking over shoulder, and yes, Jerome Powell is still at the podium. So if anything does come from, I know Brendan's over there watching for anything. So if Powell says anything, we'll come out. I mean, they're just trying to, I bet you they're trying to get this guy to say recession. They're probably, they're trying to, prod. I can't say prad at this guy, trying to see what he's going to say.
Prod's correct.
Yeah, it's correct, but it just seems funny. So I don't know. I feel like that's what they're doing. But for right now, NIO, if we can get anywhere up here, like into the mid 40, like maybe even early 40s, 41, 42, I'm going to take that short against 50. So let's see if NIO can pay that piper right now on the short side. But look at the NASDAQ. I mean, it's about to take out the highs again. So I just wish that I hadn't. Sometimes having as much experience, first of all, it adds to your gray hairs, everything like that. But, I've seen this before, and I just wish that I would have not seen it because, this Apple trade is now $3 in the money, and, it is just blowing to the upside right now. And honestly, I don't have enough shares left to make any decent cash on the part that I have left. And it's not one of those things where it's like, let's just go long then, because, if I push long with a decent amount of shares and it fades, then I'm going to lose all the money that I've already made. So really just sort of held on for a little bit longer there on Apple, but those 156 takes, I couldn't be happier with those. I was really happy when they got up there. Look what Apple was doing on the day. I mean, we took these levels out. Look where we're long down here at 154 twice. So, if you you held it, then that's great, and you see what I'm talking about. But Apple right now continues to be a nice move. I am going to just try something here on, I mean, maybe we could start right now on NIO. Let's just start right now and then get some more if it comes into the mid-40s. So starter position happening hopefully at 38 on NIO.
You know what is booming, and thank you for asking about coin, Marco. Because that reminded me what we're seeing over there. Like Bitcoin is just continuing, and I know this is a 4-hour chart. I like to use a higher time frame chart, but we are still holding up at the highs and continuing to press higher. That's why I think Coinbase is still breaking up. That's why Mara looked relatively strong up at the tops there. Now you're breaking consolidation on Coinbase, and this is a bit of a gap here. Although, look, you've got a huge gap that it looks like it's taking out. There is that $60 psychological level and round number that does sit in the middle of the gap. And if I zoom out a little bit further, you can see like we're breaking out back from what was previous support. And you had, when we're back here again, 61 to 60, some resistance. So there is a chance that maybe it could slow down. But this is one of the few things actually breaking some highs here. Like I look back over at Microsoft, and it's like if we're so strong, then why is Microsoft short still? I'm just going to rinse and repeat this. If we're going to stay inside the range, I'm going to short Microsoft off the high again and then see if we can't start scalping or continue to scalp this 50 cents and $1 on Softy. Amazon can't seem to take out the high. It gets to 121
That's
installs.
crazy.
Microsoft gets to the high installs as well. I want this market to break out, but wanting it isn't going to make it happen.
It is not going to make it happen because there goes Amazon again, right to the upside there, breaking through 121. So that one we'll hit an alarm for because tried the short, didn't happen for us there on Amazon, but maybe it just got blown out to that top side. Did we just get wicked out because everybody else did as well? So let's go back into Amazon right now. This is what I do, man. Like if that's not gonna continue to ride, maybe it will. What was that high there? I mean, the high of the day, I should check up here, was 12. So here it comes. Okay, so let's give this a little bit. I mean, the market's just rallying now. Like this is. I'm going to try one more time. Here. Let's take it. I missed it. Let's try it against 121.25 here. We are giving some money back, so there's no doubt about that right now. But let's just try it now on Amazon. We'll try that short and not believe that 121 break. Let's just see if it was a technical break or not on that and just see if there's momentum to carry this through. Looks like there is. It's holding out to the high side. Normally when that market breaks and then comes back down, like what just happened on Amazon right there, that will normally create a little bit of a cascade move, but that didn't happen there. So we are going to go short again here at 120. And it was that take right there that was kind of the mistake, 120.95 or so. Brendan, what you got?
Everything back to day highs, including Coinbase, guys. It's worth noting. The Q&A has just wrapped up, so I hope you enjoyed the Fed announcement for July. Don't look at this because it's wrong today on our system, but Coinbase at day highs.
Yeah, we're just showing that one. Every time I show that chart, I should remind you guys that number is
it's up 12 and a
like
half.
It's huge to the upside.
12
Coinbase.
and a half.
Yeah, 12 and a half. Mara's super strong as well. I'm sure Riot and Hut 8 are probably booming. And to be honest, maybe we should have looked at crypto a little bit quicker. Like maybe just punched into one of those. But I'm going to defend the notion that we both stuck to the names that we were looking at today and that we already had a good feel on. And if you have a positive outcome, all you can do is look to get better the next time, but it doesn't make it a mistake. I just keep watching. Look at the tight consolidation that we're still in PayPal. Like it's just 86, 86 and a half over and over again. The market is trying to break out the high. It's just coiling. This is a break I got to have, right? We take out this top. There it is, finally. Like after all this time, it just ticks above 50. I'm long 52s on PayPal. We started at 85. We took it at 86. Now we're taking it 86.50. Sometimes it's just how the market is, man. And this probably does mean if we go higher, then I'm going to have to stop out on Microsoft at the high of the day, which is coming up in about 20 cents or so. So if that happens, fair enough. But I finally have a second long breaking out. It wasn't necessarily the way I would like it. I kind of thought if we went sideways this much, we would have tested lower, and I could have had 85s long. But that doesn't mean it's going to happen. Like you can pray for it all you want. Even Tesla hasn't broken the high of the day, so I'll get away from that one, not really making power moves. I don't know if we've checked in on...
I mean, the market's just going to keep going.
Yeah, the market's going. I don't know if we checked in on...
It's not going to stop.
AMD just broke 90 to the upside. So you got 90 break just there on AMD. I mean, obviously I took PayPal, but AMD could have given you a clean 90 break just now. Amazon, I'm still holding onto a piece, but again, wish I was able to get into more. It just never gave the dip buy that we're looking for. And by the way, if you shorted because you were hoping for the dip buy, expecting it to happen, well, guess what? It didn't really happen for most of these names. So, my short of Microsoft, I'm going to give some back on it because that just took it out. But thankfully, we just got into the PayPal break. AMD, you could have had at 90 as well. I'll clean up this wick so it looks a little bit better on the chart. But the market now grinding higher. Watch out 270 on Softy. Watch out, a firm. If you hold on to that one, 26 even about to come in on a firm. Like that stock went $2 bottom to top. Impressive.
Yep. Yeah, you know what? I mean, now that Powell's done, man, I mean, this market is probably, here's Apple, 157. Are you kidding me? This is $3 in the money now and still going. So it's too bad we bumbled up a little bit there on Amazon trying to grab this short through 121 and then should have just been a long. Now that he's done speaking, it's like, what's going to stand in the way? What is going to change everyone's opinion right now? It should have been Powell that stepped up and said, blah, 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 this is, whatever, and the market's going to come back down. But instead, complete opposite. He was done. We broke highs. And now I just don't know what's going to stop this market now. So we have to find something too aggressive.
4 o'clock. No, not even.
And that's not even going to stop it now.
No, yeah, 4 o'clock
I
doesn't stop it.
know if 4 o'clock's going to stop it. But Microsoft 270 right now, up 7%. What a big time day this is for the market, man. Affirm up 12.5, Shopify up 12. These names are just not stopping, man. And Amazon, it's amazing that we had the long and then we just lost a bunch of times on the shorts. So I said to not look for shorts, and we did, and we got burned on them. So the only other name that I have for a short right now is Neo. Again, we had a 38, that went to 35. Whatever, we're going to average into this one. Chinese name's a little different here today, only up 1.8%.
They stunk all day.
Yeah, they haven't been great today. So hopefully that'll go. Apple's still at the highs. Yeah, this has been an exciting market, man. I don't really want to short anything anymore. Nah. I said Amazon maybe at that 120, 150 area. But look, a couple shorts, a couple outs. They're just 20-cent hits, but when you add them all up, it's really 50 cents because a couple times in, if you're taking 20-cent hits every time, it adds up. So, yeah, not great. We're still great, man. Great. Look. Where's Henry Z, man? The guy's not even here. Look at Palantir. That trade there, 975. Yeah, we'll take that, man. A nice little out at 998. So this is what I mean. It's not bad if you have the right names. This market is whoosh, cruising right now, guys, to that upside. So only 20 minutes until imbalances. Those could also be quite juicy.
Yeah, we're going to get that glow. We're going to push it to the limit and live it until we swim in them digits. We're going to get that glow. We're going to pull it from the floor to the ceiling until we're making a killing. That's a little camp low for you. I just felt like dropping something because we waited all freaking 40 minutes for PayPal. I don't think I've ever had a stop in that long and been I look over 45s, look over 48s, look over 43. It's it just sat at the high. It finally made the break, and we got the push to the upside. We were able to take it there. It just got up to that 87 level, so it goes that clean 50. It went 85 to 86, 86 to 85, 86 and a half, 86 and a half to 87 for now, but we can always go higher. A firm, which I'm going to keep going back to this one, you could have just taken the bloody 26 break, and even that even gave you a little bit. We're just screaming in. Why I was even shorting Microsoft, and don't get me wrong, it's not like it was, I don't think it was stupid, but here's the thing. If you're going to short this off of that 270 level, then you should be shorted every single time. You short it here, 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 here. So you short 5 or 6 times, and you're paid off 5 or 6 times, so when it breaks, it doesn't suck so bad. Right? And then maybe you take the breakout. I'm getting ghosting on my charts because I've been flipping from symbol to symbol too much there. But Amazon now trying to pull back off of 122. I am seeing a bit of a pullback in the NASDAQ off a pretty key level. You got to go all the way back until the 22nd. We had a wick high. We're rejecting that right now. I'm going to pop a trail in on Amazon at this point. I never got a re-entry at 120. I probably should have gone ahead and done that. I really did think we'd see 119 quarter again. 118 to 119, should have been to 120, and we could have had 3 longs on Amazon. That was the mistake in Amazon, wasn't taking the bottom of that last consolidation like we were taking in PayPal.
Yeah, for sure, man. Wow. Okay, yeah, those bars came out of nowhere. That was nice. Okay, so let's
I'm a big Camp Low fan.
Yeah, oh yeah.
They're my favorite low-key hip-hop group. Camp Low, they represent New York. I'm not a New York guy, but represent.
A firm blowing up right now. Okay, yeah, I mean, we've been looking at that for sure. This all seems getting rich, baby. Yeah, I mean, I don't know, we're not getting rich today, but definitely making that cash. So it's always nice to do that, and that's why we're here every single day, is to talk about these trades, show you how you can make money as a day trader, and try to educate you and give you that stuff, right? Because there's some other channels out there that we all know about. It's quite frank. They'll give you 1 or 2 names, they'll pump it up, it'll go, and they'll be like, look at that, we all made money. But did they
use you to get out?
Did they? I mean, you know what I mean? So yeah, here's my broker statement, yada, yada, yada. And by the way, pay us $100 a month or whatever, and we'll keep teaching you. So you guys can... the
only thing we ask of you guys is hit the like button and don't put pineapple on your pizza. Well, I ask that. These guys don't.
Yeah, what are people,
if
you made some money today, send some pizzas over here tomorrow. Put whatever you want on them.
Well, let's not go that far.
Well, whatever they want. I mean, if there's no pineapple on it.
You have whatever you want on your pie. That's
that's what it's about.
You got to do you, man. And look, there's other things moving. I see LYT making a big move to the upside, just breaking out on volume. I can't tell you. Look, there's small caps that are always going to make some power moves as well, breaking out with the market. But this is just one of these low float IPOs. It's like a 5.5 million float. What I remember about these is when they start to go, and I'm not saying this is going to be like a Hail Mary, but usually it's not just a one-day thing. So I don't want to forget about this, because I'm looking at $3, yesterday's high, just pull back there. It holds $250. I'll be looking for a $3 break or a $250 consolidation, because what PG, like, you look at what all of these do, like PGY, the recent SPAC, that was, if you gave up on this the second day when it went sideways, well, then you missed $5 to 25. So, file that one away for you guys. LYT, you guys in the chat brought it to me. Brennan got the news in like 2 seconds so that I would know that it was a recent low float IPO. Otherwise, I'd have to check it myself. He's a good resource, man. It's like, I just type a symbol in there and it's, get to know what's going on with it. So thank you very much, Brennan. Low float IPOs have been the jam recently, so let's not ignore those. I'm going to hold out for a top end break, but we do have in 15 minutes the imbalances coming out. So trails are going to be on all of these going into those imbalances. Last time I checked, the imbalances didn't mean a ton on the last 2 Fed rate hikes, but it doesn't mean we can't see a big number somewhere. So we will get those to you as normal, like we always do, showing you live any significant imbalance and how they will change up until the close.
Okay, imbalances, yeah, I mean, today they could affect the market, but the thing is that, man, I keep getting these eyelashes here. All right, so... What I was gonna say, they're so well extended right now. Like normally, like if an Apple, this is $3 in the money, if an Apple imbalance comes out to the sell side, I don't really see it pulling back too much. So I'm not overly worried. If you are gonna look at the imbalances though, I mean, it could affect the overall NASDAQ. Like the NASDAQ's up, maybe we could find this out too. Like when's the last time the NASDAQ was up 5%? Like, I mean, it was probably last Fed day. I believe we had a monster day up the last Fed day as well. So this is what I mean about today and like how everything is just off today, off to the races, that is, to the upside. So I would say nepa on any shorts moving into the close now. I mean, this has been a fantastic day and it's absolutely incredible. Let's just check out Meta here because that's another name. I mean, look,
I'm not shorting anything.
You could pull back. I'm short NEO.
I trailed out of Amazon. Like I'm trailing at this point. Like I'm not saying go short, but I'm definitely trailing that. That's a 122 even rejection. This stock went 118, 119, 120, broke 21s and gave you another $1 there, and it's 335. Take the money and run.
Yes.
If you can get it. And even getting greedy on PayPal here, I'll go break even on 86.50. That's the third long we had on PayPal. If the last one can't go, I don't want to lose on the last part of the trade. And I would have had a trail regardless at this time of day on each of those. But let's just try to pay ourselves here. Alibaba just got asked about. That's been a dog, man. 103 is a big level on Alibaba. If we're at 103, I just said don't short anything, didn't I?
I mean, I was gonna short Amazon, and then you were like, I got trailed out of that. I mean, that was gonna be a good short there. I feel like for Amazon, but you try enough times, and eventually one's gonna work. But yeah, we don't have that 122 short. Looking back, I mean, the daily's not gonna do anything for us now because we don't have the split adjusted. But yeah, I mean, there was really no reason to think 122. But for me, there's that 120, and there's 120, 150. So maybe 120, 150 could be the resistance level there for Amazon. So yeah, maybe there's something there on that level, but it's coming back in a little bit. We are 2 cents, a whopping 2 cents, but again, it's only a $19 name. So, when you look at a stock like NEO or like Palantir, where we just got out of part of our last piece at $10, like that was really the key level for me there on Palantir. But when you're trading a stock like NEO, that is, a tenth, so 10% of the price of, a Google, well, not really of a Google, I guess it's not that much, it's, a little more than that, but 20% of the price of a Google or a Microsoft, 10% of a Microsoft, you can put on a little more shares. So here we go. Hopefully this will crack into the close and they'll be able to make some money on this short, which would be nice for us. Google still $2 in the money, but bouncing around this 114 level again. I feel like we can get out if this takes this level too. Just trailing out, there's nothing wrong with that. So 113.50, we'll get out of Google if it takes it. What's up, Brendo?
You were talking about the size of this move today and the significance of it, a lot of which has to do with the past 3 down days, obviously, and then the gap higher this morning. But February 24th of this year was a 6.86% intraday move. Compared to the prior day close, though, it's still not as big as today.
Right, yeah, so that's intraday move. I think we could close at the highs here, like up 4.5%. Let's see if we can hold that. I think that'd be a pretty sweet close there for the NASDAQ. I have like a raging headache right now, so I think it's because A, talking way too much, and B, I know there's supposed to be bad weather, but like both,
don't say it.
Yeah, it's like both the other coaches of the House League team today bailed, so I got to do this practice running around with a bunch of T-ballers tonight. I'm excited for it if you can't tell. So that should be really fun to do that tonight. But
the Mariners can't win the ship if y'all don't practice, man. That's all I got to say.
I don't know if we're going to be winning it anyways, but yeah, we definitely can't win it. I'm with the all-girls rep team this weekend, so that should be a lot of fun.
There you go, man. Actually, if it is bad weather, I'm thankful that it'll be swimming night for us, so it's we'll be indoors for that. But look, it's all about those activities.
Let me check the weather.
It also could be, maybe it's not, it's only an extra half an hour. We've been under the lights a little bit more. And I know I can tell you, like, I like to keep my head down because I look up too much of my chart. The lights get on and you get that bit of a headache. It looks like it was a decent trail out on Amazon. And I know a lot of people are going to be looking at this and be like, okay, well, why not short off of 122? If PayPal's rejecting, I'm still in this one, hasn't trailed. Like 87, like if it gets to the even levels and it's pulling back, why not short off of it? There are certainly opportunities. I can't even argue with that Alibaba at 103 because that's such a good level and it's been a great one. Yeah, that's working again. So there have been some shorting opportunities. I just didn't really like going two directions, sitting in early in the move, 2 directions, and then stopping out and breaking out the other way. That made sense to me because you were in a tight range. We knew we'd trend after 230, so that made sense. Something like a Visa, even if you got into this short, like what's it doing for you right now? Not a heck of a lot. 10 minutes to imbalances. This is going to end up. Visa is going to end up like very close to where it was when the news got dropped. So I'd say that's a pretty strong move. That's a pretty bullish move to the upside. I'm just going to hold on to PayPal. I got my trail at break even. Maybe we can actually hold that one and then we'll not break to the downside and we can retest these highs. If the market closes on the highs, this is the name it looks like I'm going to have. If there is a significant imbalance somewhere, I don't mind playing into one of those. Also, don't ignore something like a Meta. Watching that one.
Well, that's what I wanted to look at.
Yeah, like that's something we should be watching going into the close as well, right? Like we still have earnings, which we're not ignoring earnings. It's just first things first, trade the market in front of you, and then start thinking about tomorrow. Like you want your focus to be on the present, both in life and sort of also with your trading as well. But now that I'm only in one position and likely not going to have too much more, I'm starting to think about what is the reaction that we're seeing in Meta. Like, do we see any big bids? Do we see any big selling? It's pulling back like everything else. So nothing really crazy, relatively speaking, but the bid is starting to get tested, that 169 breakout price. But think about how clean every chart looks right now. You got 2 o'clock, failed break of the high. What do we talk about? Always a failed break of the high, retest of a support level. I thought maybe it'd be deeper. Test of support, that's 166 or VWAP. Break of the high as well, it got given to you. Hold of that breakout, and then fresh highs. I mean, it's 3 times in a row. The only difference with the other 2 rate hikes was the magnitude. But the overall structure of the trade was about the same. And in this particular case, it was just so much more clean. Like where these things dipped and then broke out from, every single one of these charts is so darn clean that maybe Ford is like the cleanest example of this, but I flipped from Ford to Meta. Like, you're going to tell me it's not the exact same thing? Fail break, dip to support, VWAP, break out, hold support higher, break out to fresh high. I mean, there's multiple trades you could have had. That's why we're sitting in, like, holding some long, taking some new longs, making a short that wasn't that great. That'll happen to you. Maybe forced it a little bit there. But overall, you can't complain when you get a day like today.
So Brendan has let us know 259, and thanks. I think it was James as well there in the chat. Yeah, James, the market on close and balances are at that 259 right now. So, 259 to buy. So there is a buy imbalance right now on the market, but not a big one. So I'm not going to worry about that or put too much faith in that number. But it's there, and it is a buy. NEO does go to the downside for us, but we didn't take any profit. We're hoping for a little bit more on that downside move. The market's just retraced back upside, so I don't know if we all got that little update there, but back in right now for this close. Like I said, we probably close on the high. I'm thinking we close on the high, so if that happens, great, but who knows for right now. NIO is the name that we have on that. AMD is at the high. Like, do we just get out of this and hope that these imbalances just are nothing or they don't do anything? Because I'll be mad, obviously, if it comes back in. But this AMD trade, just $2 in the money there. Apple, $3 in the money. Palantir, yeah, still. I mean, a lot of these things just aren't going anywhere right now. Microsoft, 269 flat. NVIDIA, wow, what a good move for NVIDIA today. I've been calling the bottoms for a bit, but I don't know, I don't want to say there's bottom moves, but up 8% today, plus some of the moves that NVIDIA's been doing lately. Is NVIDIA ever going to get back down to we almost had it without that. All the way down here back to 150. I mean, they're going to have a pretty bad report, I guess, to come back in, and/or Apple could be a problem on Thursday night. I don't know if Meta's going to be a problem tonight or at all, because, again, I feel like Snapchat came, they said what they had to say. Google came and said what they had to say. So Meta, we just wait, man. This is the big sort of the elephant in the room right now, seeing what's going to happen with ads, what's going to happen with their sense of direction for marketing and sort of the health of social media. Because if they continue to get hit like they have been, Meta, then obviously they're up today, but if you're going to look at a daily chart, oh yeah, we got the symbol change.
Yeah, exactly.
They were right down here. I mean, before today, they were down at 160. So again, you look like Microsoft, you look like Google and everything when you're down here, and then when you're back up, you think the world is saved, but not quite, man. Meta was already at 185 a week ago, so the fact that it's at 170 is still showing a lot of pain here for Meta. So, yeah. I'm excited. There's only 15 minutes left, and then that number comes through. Should be a good one for us.
Yeah, 5 minutes imbalances, close coming through. This HKD, with that AMTD digital, wow. I mean, just give it up for this stock, because tomorrow I'll probably, why is this chart didn't flip over. Tomorrow I'm probably going to be paying for shorts on HKD. It's gone so ridiculously strong. Look at this thing, 20 up to 80. I'm like, oh, it's done. It goes 20 to 80 to 40, back to 80 again today, and that's not the half of it. This stock was $10 a couple of weeks ago. What an unbelievable runner this is. But I mean, if it sustains this break, what are we talking about? 100 tomorrow? If one of these things ever goes 10 to 100, one of these recent IPO low floaters goes 10x to a level like $100, I mean, profit taking, that's a thing, man. It's probably ridiculously expensive to short, but I'll be checking in on this one. So thank you for pointing out in the chat. Thank you for the super chat there. Maz Markets, the British pounds across the pond. I hope you're a Liverpool fan. That's all I will say about that. But I'm just kidding. You can support any club you want, but it should be Liverpool. But thank you very much for the super chat. We appreciate it. But if you can take a second, hit the like, hit the subscribe. Make sure you stick around till the close. Make sure you stick around and come back tomorrow. This week isn't even over. We still get Meta. We still have earnings to come. We get energy at the end of the week. We haven't even seen Chevron and XOM get the report on Friday as well.
Yeah, that should be spicy right there. We'll go nice little one there. We'll go. We haven't had too much basketball talk today, but there it is right there. We'll switch it out on Google. Take that $2. We did pretty good holding it. I'm pretty happy that we didn't get out on the 113 break, and we gave it that chance to get back to 114, but then failed. Like I said, I have this raging headache right now. I don't want to get up. I do have some Advil back there that I should go have, but So that's probably why my tone is a little sour, but not sour at all. I mean, it's been a great day. I am trying to get some more here on NEO. Let's do that quickly. Again, this is starting to go back up to the upside. Maybe we can get some more, maybe not for NIO, but let's, there it goes. Now, as soon as I say that, someone just markets this thing down. We'll see if we can get, there it goes. It went through 41, so that's good. We did get some shares there as it ripped right through us. So we're now going to be short at 1940, this name. So if the market does peel back, then that's what we have. Oh, man, I have my water here. That's why I went and got a tea.
Yeah, well.
You know, like, I don't know. I hope I'm not getting sick. I don't think so. I feel fine.
Don't even.
No, I feel fine. I said I don't think so. I feel fine. It's just, oh, man. What a busy day today. I think that's more like what it was, man.
Yeah.
Lots of trades happening.
Well, this
Very exciting.
This morning, there were more names to look at. Like when I prepare in the morning, I have all the names I'm watching, and then anything that sets up or has key levels, I write them down. I had twice as many names to look at, and twice as many of those had pretty key levels. And at the open, you couldn't take everything. There was so much going on with earnings today. Like today was the biggest earnings day, and then on top of that, you had to prepare for the Fed, which thankfully was a fantastic one as always. I've even made a note to make sure that I watch this HKD tomorrow. There will be no ignoring that stock. No, not again. It's not going to happen. I can't see a stock go 10 to 80 to 40 to 80 and then not try to trade it. So I'll be looking at that one tomorrow. Meta will be on the focus with 2 minutes to go to the imbalances. This is the one I'm choosing to watch here for obvious reasons. Strong day for them. Just want to make sure it is up 6%. Strong move. But if you start to think about where we came from in the morning, like how many chances were there on all of these stocks to go to the upside? You are getting a decent pullback. I have my trailing stop in on PayPal at break even, or just actually a couple of pennies below. I got a 52 long. You can probably guess my stop is beneath 50, just in case it wants to head to the downside. But the run happened. That's why we tried to get out at the top. Could have shorted it, would have worked, didn't do it, didn't love the shorts here, to be honest with you. But I'll be watching Meta in about 90 seconds. There are some other names there. Just checking back in, because I know some people were talking about Alibaba, that short. Not even pulling back that much. So a key level like that, the market giving up a little bit, and some names pulling back, and a stock like BABA, which had been a dog and been weak and good off this level, not doing much. I'm going to make a mental note of that, because maybe I won't be as automatic in a down day thinking about that 103 short and be waiting back for those 105s and 107 levels that have been a little bit better in Alibaba. So not really the dump I would have expected with the market pulling back off highs.
Trying to crush some water here. Thanks for all the comments that are on the chat. Yeah, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. Someone said push your fingertips together, and maybe that'll do something. So maybe we'll try that in a bit. But yeah, you guys are right, man. The damage has been done today. My work is done here. We'll just take you into the close with only a few seconds left, so before the imbalances. So let's have a quick look at this. Let's get rid of ARCA. We don't care about them for now. We'll just watch NYSE and NASDAQ. These will come through in about 20 seconds. What's the NASDAQ up? 4.5 right now, so 4.4. We'll see if it can come through. Reloaded on NIO, as you guys know, at 42 right there. So now we'll have 41, but average price of 40. If that wants to come to the downside, great. If there is a NEO short to be had, we'll just bump this up a little bit here. You can watch, well, I'll close that a little bit so you can see the action a little bit more. There's the NASDAQ, and here we go. In 2 seconds, we're going to get some numbers to come through, and we'll see what the market wants to do into that. So, okay, so it's trying to push a little bit down here for the market, but not really. What's on here?
Nothing.
BBD, is that Bombardier? No, that's that Banco Brazil. I think there's another Brazil name, iTub,
and then
Vale.
Petrobras. Those are all Brazil
These
stocks.
are all, that's what I'm saying, Vale, Petrobras here, iTub, these are all. There's NVIDIA, that's starting to sell, so you can see NVIDIA starting to come back in right now, so we can get out of our AMD. That's probably not a horrible idea right now. Move out of my way, water. We'll see if that one wants to come through, so let's get out. What is AMD doing right now? 90? Okay, so if this takes down 90, let's just get out. I'll put the order in right now. You know what, I can just get out with my damn hands right now. Okay, well, that just resisted, so let's give that a second, but this is what's on the imbalances. Twitter's a buy, NVIDIA with the sell. So, yeah, this breaks back down. There it is, so let's just get out. Well, it's still trying to hold out hope a little bit. Forget it. Let's just get out. If we get some 99s there, out. There it is, so it just printed us out there. A nice little trade to finish that mark for AMD, a nice little $1.50 win on that one. But those are your imbalances, and that's AMD. Still a nice little trade here for me on Apple, $3 in the money, but that's pulling back. Let's just get out if it takes this 156.50.
Yeah, I got out of PayPal. You can see all flat for me, meaning I'm out of my trades. Meta didn't have an imbalance that I can see. If it is, it's got to be pretty small, not over 250,000 or 300,000. But it did pull back anyways. Market slightly to the downside on those imbalances. And I want to give a shout out to its DJ Palacantot, short Lakers, long Raptors. Yeah, we got the
Obviously.
we got the cruise missile. It's ship time because we got the cruise missile himself from the movie that Sean hasn't watched yet. But
any team that has LeBron on it, Fahad, they're not winning any more championships. So throwing some shade at
shots fired.
Well, I mean, if LeBron controls the players that come and go, Nepa on that one. But we'll see. They still have a big trade to come in. If they can get Kyrie somehow, then that would be a different story because Westbrook. The other thing about the Lakers, though, I don't want to go short on the Lakers because they were so bad last year. Like you're going short at like such a.
They can't help but be better.
Because Anthony Davis, it can be the best player in the league. When he's healthy, the guy's an absolute monster.
No, he's a monster.
Candy. I mean, he's a talent like.
When is he ever healthy?
Really like no other. But yeah, you're right. He has to wait for that one. Okay, so
and Greg Oden would have been something too if he was.
Yeah, well, Greg Oden and Anthony Davis. Come on.
No,
all right, so right there. Let's go on that one. Fahad loves LeBron James. There's nothing wrong with that. So,
yeah, a little bit.
All right, so here we go to the downside. A nice little take for Neo. So yes, sir, on that one. Pretty happy with the way this afternoon has worked out for us. Palantir, we do have that out already at $10. It's just hovering around here. We could tweet all these out, but you guys are there. If you can, hit the like button, man. I mean, a quick little look to see what we've got going on right now. Like 5,500 watching, 1.4K. We came on early for you. I guess you don't want that anymore, so we probably won't do that. Only 1.5 likes. I don't think we need to come on anymore at 1:30. But let's go. If you do like that trade and you do like what we've been doing today, please hit the like button. That's all we do ask of you. No monthly memberships or daily memberships or anything like that on Trader TV Live. We just give you what's good, and that's the trading. And tomorrow, hopefully, what's good is up on the board there, Brendo.
Yep, a lot to look at, guys. Just saw a very interesting headline on Apple, who apparently have tapped an ex-Lamborghini executive to work on their car. So, I mean, if you're going to go, why not go all the way, right? Here's earnings for tonight and tomorrow morning.
Yeah,
what are we
nothing
look
really
at?
on there.
Nothing.
That's going to be too interesting, I don't think.
Ford.
But, yeah, we've got Ford up there. We've got Merck, Comcast, obviously Honeywell,
Qualcomm.
Something called Meta. Never heard of them. I think they're related to Facebook, maybe the ugly brother or something of Facebook there. But Meta going to be coming through tomorrow. Should be a lot of fun for everybody, and we're going to be here tomorrow, obviously, to trade all of that. And what was a great day today. What a fantastic Fed day right there. Yeah, 1.7K. So I guess maybe no on that one. But nice move for Apple. We said we'd get out if it hit that 156.60. Let's just get out right now, man. I mean, this is going to be a $3 winner for us on Apple, so we can get this out right. All right, well, there it is. Offer, enter, blast up. We are now out of Apple at 157. Our long was only 154, so I apologize if you want big wins or anything like that, because there was one right there, $3. We hit it. We like it so much, we hit it twice there. Boom, boom. Nice upside move. And then, by the way, NIO, kind of just dancing here, but I guess we got to get something out. I was waiting for 33s. We'd already got 36. We'll take it again if it comes through. But we're short at 41. Not a bad way to end the day with a couple pennies here on the green side of things. For NIO, we are short, but green in our net there for NEO. So let's just take some out and move on. And what was a good day?
Absolutely, and one of the names out there, Qualcomm, I saw some people in the chat been talking about this one. That 200 period, oh baby, we get a chance to break out potentially from there. Anytime you can see something like this, you got 150 support, previous resistance, and then you have a potential break through 155 and the 200 period if you're above that, and then room to the upside. If for some reason it's a bit of a disaster, watch out for that 150. And yes, the chip, it was mentioned here, and thank you for pointing this out. They stand to benefit from the chip bill, obviously. But look, man, until they pass, they'll pass it when they pass it. I'll believe it when I see it, kind of thing. I just love where it's trading, right? The last time we saw Qualcomm making a similar move, like look at what we're looking at. It was about 137. You had the 50 period. It was holding above. You basically made the higher low. You then broke out from there, and then you had multiple days of big runs on Qualcomm. I think one of those days we had a rune in here, and we're looking at a Qualcomm move. But either way, we're set up for that on earnings on QCOM. They'll be after the bell. So lots to look at. We did talk about Ford. I saw someone ask, like, you guys talk about Ford. We looked at Ford several times. And this is also in the pocket, right? It's got the 50 period. It's got a 5-day high here, which is kind of randomly at like 13.20 or so, like 13.20, 13.25. Like look at the channel you've been sitting in Ford. That's another fantastic setup because then I really don't give a darn where it ends up going. I just know that it has a fantastic breakout potential and it's got support beneath it. The levels are pretty obvious on Ford. It's going to be 12.50, it's going to be 13.20, and just a matter of which way we're going to have to be going here. 3.5 minute season balances. Nothing's really staying there. Apple, it's like 800,000. I'm not really sure why all of the US listed Brazilian names have gigantic imbalances. So maybe there's something going on with the BOVESPA there, but nothing really that's too interesting to me on that imbalance board. And then Meta, which we're going to get after the bell, one to watch, still pulling back with the rest of the market. And it actually bounced off that 168 pretty decently there. So we still have some support coming in at these breakout prices. Meta, super strong today. But that can change in a heartbeat. Like, look at the difference in reaction from like Snapchat versus like what we saw with Alphabet, where it's like, nothing was really good except for decent in terms of advertising, and then they blew to the upside. Meta, it could go either way with this thing. What they have on their side is it is still relatively beaten up on the daily chart, which I just made the mistake of trying to show as well, Sean. But yeah, it's still been relatively beaten up, and it has a chance to break 172, which is reestablished as resistance.
I mean, I can make a bold call. I would prefer the long than the short on Meta. I just feel like today's moves, the way the market's been going, I don't know if Meta's going to like blow up to the upside or anything like that, but I really feel like Snapchat was just its separate beast, possibly. So I think that Meta is going to be a long into tomorrow. So there you go. You can at me tomorrow when it's down 40%, but I don't think so. Okay, so we are going to be here on NIO. There, I don't think any numbers can come that bad.
40%, there's no chance.
I think that was one of their last report. They were down like 30% or something. So
a stock that big doing it twice would make no sense.
Yeah,
not at these lows.
No, I wouldn't.
Because you know what, the valuation is so reasonable.
I know it's
now.
already 12.
Yeah, you can't look Meta at 12 on their PE. Like it's just a 25-30% move to the downside is nonsensical. There's too many people. I
called the long.
There's too many people buying it. No, I'm just saying like an outsized move like last time. Like Snapchat can do that twice.
Right.
Because it's a much different stock. But for Meta to do it twice is just a different. It's
Cheyenne and Tony. Yeah, well, I kind of just said that tongue in cheek, but yeah, that's. I don't think that's going to happen, but we'll see right now. As we do start getting some 35s out there on Meta, just to wrap up that trade. And just so you guys want to know, I don't know where Henry is, but shout out to you, Henry, because we had a good idea today on Palantir, and there it is, blowed to the upside right there. Great trade for me on Palantir today. It doesn't, honestly, like, look at it. It doesn't get much better than that. The break and then the boom. I mean, that's like, let's go on that one, man. But with only 30 seconds left, Cheyenne and Tony and I just ran and got some Advil. So 2 Advils down. We'll see. Good to go on that one. Hopefully we'll regroup and then be able to T-ball it up later on tonight. Regardless, I have to do it anyways. So, all right, with only 20 seconds to go, man, will I get that 35 fill that I'm waiting for here? All of it on NIO. Hopefully we can do that. The last position on the board is Neil with only 10 seconds left. Let's go.
The countdown is on.
It's Cheyenne
Let's
and
get Tony and Cheyenne. Who gets the last ring of the bell? It's always a bit of a battle. My money's on Cheyenne in 3, 2, and 1. Ring it. Obviously.
Yeah, Tony, what a gentleman there.
Exactly.
Letting that flow through there. We did take 37s as our last out, which is okay. Our average price there was 41 on NIO. But yeah, if Meta comes out, we'll have it for you. But right now, Brendan, what a busy day it was, man. The NASDAQ winds up 4%, a great one, into a little bit of a negative close, though.
Qualcomm.
QCOM, guys, just came out. QCOM moving. Here we go, quickly. 4% kind of day. It was April 2020 was the last time we've had a day that big. 2.6 for the S&P, 1.6 there. 15% for ETH today. 8.3 for Bitcoin, guys. Yeah, QCOM just out.
Ether power moves. QCOM look up to 155, down to 147.50. I don't know what the numbers are right now, but I'm going to imagine it wasn't great. It's actually holding at that 150 mark. Those are the big levels. That 150 is the big mark to the downside. It doesn't seem like it's like the volume on this is light enough that I'm like, is the guidance even out at this point? Because volume is pretty light. And it should be whipping around more than this. But I don't have the numbers in front of me, so I'm not going to pretend like I know what they just reported.
Yeah, you know what? I should have I should have put these on before anyways. Like we have these Blu-ray
That can
glasses,
help
whatever they're called,
sometimes,
blue
man.
light glasses.
That can
there.
help.
Could have helped for sure, but now they're just bugging me. All right, so what a great day it was. We have Meta up. It doesn't look like that's going to be coming out anytime soon. Still battling around that 169 level, so not much happening here for Meta. I'm sure there's other stocks moving, but we'll just stick with this. If anything happens, we'll get it to you. But I want to give a big shout out. Obviously today, no Lucas, no problem, because we have Fahad over there. So thanks again for all that, Fahad, today. Thanks to Mark. Thanks to everybody. Maggie. Thanks to the midday show. What a fantastic show. Does Brendan want to say something? I don't have my earpiece, so.
No, I'm just
all
waiting
good
for
on that one. Okay.
just
Yeah,
hanging
everything's
out.
going well, man, today. It's been a big day for us. Thanks to midday show.
Oh,
Thanks
it's
to
out.
Brandon
It's
over
out.
there as well today.
Meta.
Go ahead. What's up with Meta? It's not moving right now. Is it out? Huh? I don't know.
They're reading it now. Sorry, it's in my ear. They're reading
Okay,
it.
yeah. So nothing out with Meta yet. Hopefully in the next couple minutes. So let's wrap this up. Check us out on Twitter. For all of us here at Trader TV Live, sleep well, man. Meta earnings coming out very, very soon. What a fantastic day. The best day on the NASDAQ since April of 2020. We'll check you tomorrow. Thanks for watching. Ciao.